Where do I begin? Holy cow. Dear football God, forgive them for they know what they say to Big Sills daily. Forgive them for they not know that I, Big Sills, and the Nostradamus of pro football. Hey, man, what an absolute grand slam out of the gate. Holy cow, I will get to it here in a minute. We also said this, Gabe Hall would make the team. Why? We know now why. Goodbye, Thomas Booker. I really like Thomas Booker, too. He's now part of that Raiders trade. For what's the guy's name? Jakorian. What's his name? Hold on, let me get it. I never heard of the fucking guy until yesterday. What's the guy's name? Hold on, I wrote some important things down about him. What's this guy's name? What's his name? Jakorian, what it is, Bennett? Jakorian. Am I saying it right? Jakorian. So, man, Keely Ringo must suck. Holy cow, they went out of the building to get a guy that people keep telling me you're deep at corner. Why are you deep at corner? Xander, Sig just sent me. There you go. Thank you, guys. All supers go to the top. Please hit that like button. Did the Raiders call the Eagles first to fill the DT spot? Or did the Eagles initiate Bennett Booker trade due to the uncertainty with Ringo Adoree at cornerback? Any inside info, Sills? You would think that the Raiders, again, because Booker's the better player between the two. Booker's the better player. You got numbers on a shitty team. Haven't you learned? Where to begin? Holy shit. Listen, exhibition football this week. The Bengals are going to play the Eagles Thursday. Obviously, there's going to be a controlled scrimmage. Hey, Super Bowl team, and you got to go to the Raiders. How you doing? That's right, baby. Super Bowl team. Hey, I'm going to throw this back out at you. By the way, Angelo Cataldi today at 4:30. Dave Lapam, part of the broadcast team and former Bengal himself, will join us. That'll be at 5:30 as they are flying into town now. So that's why we had to put him at 5:30. Dave Lapam. He'll be with us, and we'll talk some Bengals with him as they are going to play for a couple series, the starters against the Eagles. That'll be on Thursday night. So, by the way, also, from my fucking basement, Herm Edwards will be with you on Wednesday. He'll be with us at 4:30. We'll move the Battle Royale to 5 o'clock. So, the biggest guest in the United States come to a show where a guy's in his basement. Pretty cool that you guys have built this show up like that. Thank you very much. Everybody on the planet comes to the guy who does his show from his basement. Remember that. How you doing? No matter if I'm in Philly, in my basement, anywhere. The biggest names in sports and entertainment come on this program and on JAKIB Sports. Facts. Hey, by the way, Xander, did we get Kyle Super? Hope we did. By the way, we never run past the Super here. Your guys' contribution to the show is enormous. Jerry Roseman at it again, trying to pump up his ego. Jerry Roseman. Yeah. Woo! Holy cow. What's this guy's name? Dr. Jakorian Bennett? Who the fuck did they trade for? Let me see. I wrote some numbers down on the guy. I think I did. Jakorian fucking Bennett. Here we go. Here's M. Reyes. Welcome to the future, you mummy. Hurts rules. So feminine. What a feminine tweet. Elite. Who's that, CZ? Who's elite? Jakorian Bennett? Dr. Jakorian Bennett is now a member of the secondary and will battle for the corner spot over Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson. This is fucking classic. So here's this guy here. Let me see if I get his name right. Jakorian Bennett. Played at Maryland. Okay. A fourth rounder in 23. Okay. Yeah. So there's my breakdown. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe that there's now a rift between Vic and Howie Roseman building? Says, you think Vic Fangio knows who? No, I do not. This dude, these dudes don't know. Hey, Pump. No, I don't think he knows who he is. I didn't think Nick today at the press conference, I thought he was lying on who he knew who he was. I don't think Vic has any idea who that guy is. He didn't know very much about Adoree Jackson. So let me give you my case. And then you tell me if there's a case here. Eagles are hoping they land an Isaiah Rodgers type player. My question is, for the price, why not keep Rodgers in continuity? Because they have the cheapest defense in the NFL right now. And that's by design. They are the cheapest defense in the NFL right now. The cheapest. And will that play out? We're going to talk about that. They're the cheapest defense in pro football. And will that play out in 25? We'll get to that in a minute. Let me ask you this. So, Vic Fangio doesn't pick who plays on Thursday if he wants to see guys get some time? Nick said that today. That comes down between me and Howie. Vic doesn't get a look at who he wants to see in football games, and they pick his roster for him? Really? Nick Sirianni said that today. Somebody directly asked him a question. Hey, Nick, Vic said that, quality reps, you get in preseason. And Vic said he'd like to see some of his guys. He goes, yeah, well, Howie and I will sit down and we'll determine who's going to play. And then we'll let Vic know. By the way, that's not a take. That's a fucking statement. Learn the difference, M. Reyes. That's a fucking statement. Nick says too much. Just shut up. Nick picks the players who are going to... Vic has no say who plays on Thursday, according to Nick Sirianni. How about that? He has no idea who this Jakorian Bennett fucking guy is. First question out of the gate, Nick was asked, hey, man, so, yeah, he goes, no, he's going to be good for depth, special teams, this and that. Yeah, we really like, he don't know who the fuck this guy is. How could he? You think he's really watching game film on a player when he's got camp going on and prepping for the 25 season? What are you, drunk? You got personnel and pro personnel people that do that. Head coaches don't sit around, or coordinators don't sit around in training camp and watch that shit. That's fucking ridiculous. Vic Fangio has no impact on the roster that is given to him and who plays on Thursday. That was said today. I know some of you don't want to hear that, but that's what was said. He has no idea who this dude is. He has no idea. Vic's just giving players. There he is. Fangio goes, oh, another guy? Well, obviously they don't like what's going on at corner. Holy cow. Holy cow. Okay, wait a minute. What's the terrible take? What's the terrible take? It's not a take. He said it, dickhead. Reaching for what? I'm repeating what they're saying. Reaching for what? What in the world are you saying? I got it written down here. What the fuck are you talking about, reaching? Here. Didn't like the corner spot either. They just addressed it, dipshit. Yeah, they went out of the building because I told you Keely won't win that job. Boom! How you doing? You're welcome. You're welcome. Prediction number 1. He won't win that job. How you doing? Said it, corner, not safety. Okay? Kimberly, we told you, man. They're not going to replace every one of those guys. Shit, get this. They've now put Jalen Hurts on the second team. We shall see. You think that thing's going to... Hey, how many people in here still believe that defense will be top 5? How many people believe that? Let me write this down. I want to see the names. I'm going to write this down. I got my little book here. Let me get that thing. How many people believe? Okay, Tony, top 5. Tony, let me ask you this. How are you going to have a top 5 defense when you haven't even figured out a safety, who's going to play in the nickel and who's going to play corner? And you're telling me you got a top 5 defense and you got 3 positions wide open and you don't know who's going to win those jobs, but you're trying to tell me that you're going to fucking tell me that you have a top 5 defense when you don't even have 3 positions. Crazy. 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 Top 5, and you got 2 positions with 8 players, and you can't figure it out yet. It's going to be an easy year. Just come on, line it up. How you doing? So how many people think that does Vic pick the personnel he's given to start? That I agree. You want to hear something else? So they give Vic a bunch of players, and they say make a team out of this. Not Vic's guys, their guys. That's how they pick teams. Howie and his staff pick the guys, and the coaches have to make players into them. Very little say when it comes to Vic Fangio has no idea who this guy is. None. He didn't know who Adoree Jackson was. I see no problem with Howie picking the final 53. Wow. So let me ask you this. Lamar, you really think that Brett Veach picks Andy Reid's final 53? If they had a vet DT, who would you add? I'll have to take a look at the list of guys that are out there. Shields, with all due respect, you laughed at Xander's face last year. Okay, I did. I'll do it again. You're not going to duplicate that. Good luck to you, man. So you think you're going to find with Jakorian Bennett, you think he's the next Zach Bond. Good luck to you. Hope it works out. Never happened. You're going to get steamrolled, Sills. Go Birds. Well, your take already on Keely Ringo's getting bulldozed. How you feel about that, kid? Your take on Keely Ringo's wrong so far. Is it not? Watch this. They just traded for a guy, and they're talking of putting Cooper out there also in playing. And they're traveling Quinyon Mitchell. Guess what this guy just said to you? Okay? This guy was the guy telling me Keely Ringo was going to be a star. How about this one? They're traveling Q. They just made a trade for another corner. And they've even added Eli Ricks to the mix. But no, hey, you got it figured out. Okay. Sills, what is this? Musical chairs at cornerback? No, it's not musical chairs. They don't really know who's out there. They don't. Q's traveling because you don't have another corner. Okay? Okay, right. So what? What does it matter? Q traveling. Stop, dude. Q didn't travel last year. Hey, Deshae, how many people believe this? Pump, do you believe that Quinyon Mitchell would be traveling this year if Darius Slay was playing the other side this year? No way. No way. Okay? The 26th ranked passing defense added their starting corner for his 6th round DT. He's the difference. He's the difference maker, though. Good night. The 26th ranked pass defense sent you a corner. It's just unbelievable. Here, look at this. Dan Sileo, you're not God. Okay? That you know the future about everything. You get this wrong, too. Maybe Bennett is good. Yeah, maybe he is. Hey, you're right, dude. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I'll ask you a question. You know the answer to, and stop lying. Oh, my God. I was waiting for this. I wrote those down, too. Check this out. Dr. Jakorian Bennett ranked around the NFL DBs with 400-plus snaps. I saw this. Get this. Look at how he's making this guy look good. Third, 176 yards allowed. Second, in OTDs allowed. By the way, he doesn't start. He's tied for first, 62.4 in quarterback rating. Held chase to 3 catches for 16 yards. I'd say that's pretty good for nobody. Well, then why'd the Raiders trade him? And they struggle mightily in the cornerback position. Then why did they fucking trade him? And those stats were built on the 26th ranked pass defense. So he was good on a shitty defense? Wow. And the reason that the Raiders sent them trash was because they had to fill the void of Wilkins. This was a Raider trade, not an Eagle trade. Are you under the impression that this was sparked by the Eagles? This was sparked by the Raiders. They just lost Christian Wilkins. They had to get a DT that could stop the run. Pete Carroll needed a DT. And guess what he did? Who do you think he called for Thomas Booker? Ask yourself. Who do you think he called for Thomas Booker? Does anybody know? I'm here to help. Does anybody know who they called for Thomas Booker? Obviously, Rhodes. Kyle, tell these folks what Clint Hurtt was in Seattle to Pete Carroll. Will you tell him? Help him out. This is why I knew Gabe Hall was making the team. I knew Gabe was making it. I told you 3 days ago when he did that exercise, that Gabe was making the ball team. Vic even mentioned him. Clint Hurtt was the defensive coordinator in Seattle for Pete Carroll. Called him up for the trade, said the guy's a really good ball player. And then they made the move. And Howie was the second guy in this trade. I'll take a corner. He could have took any other position at safety. I don't think the Raiders have anybody there. So the Raiders were willing to part with this guy. They didn't call initially. This was a Raider move. But you'll have everybody in Philly pretending that Howie robbed the kitty. The Raiders sparked this move. Over to Christian Wilkins. Oh my God. Believe me, I guarantee you, you guys deserve a lot of love for winning the Super Bowl, and you get a lot of latitude. But the first call came from the Raiders. Okay, this wasn't Howie going, I need a corner. Howie got a corner is the second deal in this thing. I'll take this guy that's down on your depth chart. Raiders weren't going to give a top flight guy up. They didn't have to. Okay, I mean, this was a throw-in player. Not awful. Look at Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green's throwing up on the sidelines and will not make this ball team. And that guy was the 17th pick in the draft for the Houston Texans. He won't make the club. He is struggling mightily. I'm surprised he's still on the team. I agree with your premise that if you had two great corners, you wouldn't need Q to travel. But doesn't that mean at least other teams' number one is shut down? Well, not when you play zone. You don't look, if he's going to travel, he's still getting a 10-yard release off the ball. He's going to have to play tighter. And what about the other guy? The other guy's the hole in the defense. Q's not the hole in the defense. Q is not the hole. The other guy is. And also in your safety position. I mean, okay? I mean, listen, the kid Bennett's not a bad ball player. I'm not saying he's I saw somebody say camper. I don't believe that he's a camper. I think you could use a guy like that on special teams and improve Michael Clay's special teams. I don't think that if the guy comes in here and all of a sudden he's competing, if that guy comes in here and starts competing for that corner job, Keely Ringo won't start all the preseason games. All right? I mean, you were under the impression how we made this move. You couldn't be further from the truth. Pete Carroll called, and they called Clint Hurtt. Hey, what do you make of Thomas Booker? We want to, and we're talking to Howie about making a trade. Oh, okay. They really like Gabe Hall. They think Gabe Hall's coming along. By the way, this also helps Ty Robinson. This helps Ty Robinson. This might get him some more reps. So, I mean, if you're Ty Robinson, you're like, holy shit, they just got rid of Thomas Booker. That could mean more reps for me at defensive end. Then why have Q travel if he's not going to play man? I don't know. He's not playing man. They don't play man defense. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know. Thanks for the super, though, my friends. Like you said before, our depth players can be starters on other teams. Other team starters are our depth. Well, these are your backups of a year ago in some of these other key positions now. Moro Ojomo was a backup. Trotter was a backup. Ringo was a backup. Who's the backups to these guys? Right? Okay? I'm not debating who you think that Howie reached out for a guy and a corner who's on one of the worst pass defenses in the league. And that was the target, that Howie targeted that guy. The Raiders targeted Thomas Booker. It's not true. Wherever you hear that, it is not true. Sills, with the amount of hype Moro Ojomo is getting, he better be the next John Randall. Training camp isn't shit to Brian Pumper. I agree, but I'll tell you what. he does sound like he's really making an impact in camp. So I'm going to go here with this pump that my question with Mario Ojama, hey, my takeaway is that how many reps is he going to be able to cover for what Josh Sweat brought a year ago or Milton Williams? Okay, I let's just see. I got it. I'm not saying you're wrong. Now, he played some significant role last year. He did. He played a significant role. I thought he was really good. For what they asked him to do, I thought he was good. Still, signing Simmons would make sense now. No, it would not. Cosmo. So you're going to sign Justin Simmons for $8 million. You had a guy in the building who was going to make $8 million, who had an impact on your 2 Super Bowl teams. So you're going to go out of the building and you're going to sign Justin Simmons for the same money that you cut Gardner Johnson was making? I don't see how that makes sense. Gardner Johnson's a better player than Justin Simmons. For the same money. Vet minimum? So you think that Justin Simmons is holding out for the fucking league minimum, and so is Asante Samuel. You guys don't know how this works. They could sign with the league minimum with 32 teams if they felt like it. I mean, hey, I'm waiting for the league minimum. Well, here, I'll give you 32 contracts. Seals, it might not make sense, but if you made a mistake, better to try and correct it. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair comment. Xander, didn't you say that the other day? Xander said it too. Hey, if that guy can't fucking get the job done, Keely Ringo, I don't want to wait 5 games. I want to do this shit now. And I want to get this resolved now going into Dallas. I don't want to do it after the fact where those first 4 games are going to be quite competitive. You're playing some really good quarterbacks. And where is the biggest weakness? It's in your secondary. As much as you have strengths back there, you have just as equal deficiencies in your secondary. Dude, there's no doubt. Here's where you are. Watch this. Q and Cooper are fabulous ball players. The rest of those guys, they're below 2 average dudes, with Blankenship being average. Hey, do you think not having experienced secondary guys in the backfield is going to hurt Reed Blankenship this coming year? It did in 23. Who in the league history ever traveled and played zone? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they're going to have him play. Maybe they're going to have him play more man. I don't know yet. I want to see it. I think it's going to be different too, though. Okay? Let's see here. Who was more important to the team's dynamic last year, Gardner Johnson or Christian Parker? Because one had to go from what I understand. That's correct. They're going to side with the coach in this, believe it or not. Gardner Johnson, hey, there's assholes on every team. Who cares? You coach those guys. All right? And let's not forget something. This is a completely different group of defensive football players than what you had, let's see, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, 7 months ago. It's a completely different defensive football team than 7 months ago. Not even remotely in the same room. Like, yeah, well, not every team's a Super Bowl champions and had the number 1 ranked defense. Once again, Abe wants to blanket the Eagle defense with the Jets defense or the Raiders defense. Well, the Raiders lose players too. The Raiders had the 26th worst pass defense. The Eagles had the number 1. You think there's any difference when you lose players on fucking the number one ranked? Get this. See these two guys right here? These two guys should fucking get a room. You know what their take is? That the impact of other teams losing players is the same impact that the Eagles have because everybody loses players. The difference is that the Eagles are the Super Bowl champion, and that was the number one ranked defense. His attitude and that other guy's attitude is, hey, everybody else loses guys. Like the number one defense and the 32nd ranked defense, hey, if you lose 7, 8 guys, everyone goes through it. It's the same. What a fucking dumb take. He thinks everything's equal. If you're the number one ranked defense or the worst, if you lose 5 guys on both teams, that's less of the impact. Everyone loses players. Again, folks, look how stupid that is. He thinks the same impact off the number one ranked defense versus the last ranked defense is the same impact. It's the same impact in his eyes. Okay. No more debating that because it's the stupidest line of thinking you could ever have. If I have the best unit in football and I lose 5 starters off it, and the Jets lose 5 starters, his contention is, well, the Jets go through it too. Holy fuck. You can't get any dumber than that shit. That's fucking classic. Everything's equal. Okay, yeah, it looks that way. Get this, like the fucking like the Raiders' 26th ranked defense, because they lost players too, is the same as the Eagles' number one defense. You can't get any dumber, man. Hey, Xander, I missed the super. Guys, I appreciate you sending these supers. Please put the likes up here for us. Thank you guys so much, man. You guys are great. Really. Hey, and I'll put this out here one more time. Okay? I'll say it again. As of right now, I'm dead on about Ringo, dude. We'll see what happens. That'll be a weakness all year. Prediction number 6, I think it was. Bang. And then replacing Gardner Johnson, too. The Moro Ajomo one looks like that. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be interesting on the depth. So let me do that before I get into another comment I'm going to make and another topic. Hit that like button. So here, how do you feel about Milton Williams being replaced so far in camp? What do you think? Milton Williams. Morrow, you sure it's not coach talk, right? Not that Vic is pumping it up too much. How do you feel about it? Great. Joseph says great, even though he hasn't played it down yet. Stabilizing. I like that. I like that one. Decent replacement. Okay. Let's see here. Who else? Give me another word here. Okay. Fabulous, even though he's never played. Outstanding, even though he's never started. Okay. So you guys feel good. I feel pretty good too. What about replacing Josh Sweat with Uche and Hunt? And by the way, Jalen Hunt has been moved to the second team. How do you feel good about that? Replacing Josh Sweat. You think Philly is the only squad in the league with a couple iffy starters? Again, you're the Super Bowl champions. You're the Super Bowl champions. It's different when you lose people versus the Giants, is it not? If the Giants lose a guard, a corner, and a free safety, the Giants are still going to lose or they're going to win 7 games. The Eagles won 14 ball games because of those players that were on your team. So you're telling me again, Tyler, a team that was ranked number 1 in total defense, losing 5 starting players from the Super Bowl roster, is the equivalent of the Jets losing 5? Really? They were the number 1 unit in football historically. That was a historic group. And you're telling me a historic defense is the same as the Jets losing 5 players. How do you rationalize that out? That's like saying losing Reggie White is this. I can replace him with Moro Ajoma. Get this. Now he wants to say historic. Well, I don't know. You gave up only 275 yards in total off defense. Yeah, it gave up only 17 points a game. You shut out a 3-time Super Bowl MVP. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. No, nobody said that. Now, he's making shit up here. I said you guys are saying it's the equivalent. That replacing Moro Ajomo or Milton Williams with fucking Reggie White is the same. It's not the same. The guy was, how about this? Milt was on a unit that did more than Reggie. Did he not? Holy shit. I'm not calling that guy that. I'm saying that guy played on a Super Bowl number 1 ranked defensive football team. Guys, I'm not debating it. Don't worry about it, Ronald. I'm not debating some shit like that. It's a stupid take from stupid people. It's all good. All right. So let's go to this one here. What would be better for the success of the team this year? Jalen Hurts throwing for 4,500 yards and 30 TDs, or Barkley running for 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns. Who has to have a better year for this team to repeat as Super Bowl champions? Barkley or Hurts? Barkley or Hurts? Who has to have a better year? Barkley or Hurts? And for the record, Hurts did not have that great a year ago. So I'm just saying, because everyone's going to say that, Hurts is going to improve this year. Okay? Well, wait a minute. They didn't need him last year to carry the team. Inquire about Snead. I know he's expensive. He's still sitting in football purgatory. Still much cheaper than the edge or pass rusher generational. Talking, obviously, Micah. So let me ask you this. In your opinion, who has to have a great year? Barkley or Hurts for this team to have success again? I put Hurts at around 4,500. That would be an historic year for him. Or Barkley going 1,800. What's the best formula for this team to win? I really don't think it's an issue. Saquon Barkley. You could throw for 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns and lose. If he goes for 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns again, you are going to be in the NFC Championship game again. Those numbers by Hurts does not guarantee anything. Barkley controlled field position, time of possession. He was a one-man gang last year. It's once again going to come down to Barkley and the defense and how well they play. Jalen, just don't turn the ball over, and you could be in the NFC title game. It's all going to come down to your defense. And if your offense can excel a little bit more than it did a year ago in other aspects, like the passing game. Those are the questions right now. There's no other debate. Will your offense elevate itself a little more than just being a run-dominant team? And will your defense, with all the moves and all the losses, will they be able to hold up? Case closed. There's no other way around that. I mean, that team relies on what Barkley does. The defense will not be number one this year. Hurts will have to have more production than last year. Okay, well, throwing the ball stops the clock. If you're going to have Jalen be more productive this year, I want him to be more productive in the run game. He's a dual threat guy. His assets are not in the pocket. His assets are running the ball because he's a threat to run. Running the ball will also help the defense by staying off the field. Correct. Because you're controlling time of possession. Okay? Get this. Let's see what Slager has to say here. It's the chicken or the egg question. Did the Eagles win because of their defense, or was their defense at least partial function of the run game? I think they won because of, I think both were equal. I think the run game and the defense were exceptional last year. Hurts wasn't exceptional, dude. He was exceptional in that Super Bowl. What was exceptional week in and week out was the defense and also the run game. If Jalen avoids playing like an asshole, we win. Simple formula, Sells. Don't overdo it. We know his limitations. Yeah, but again, I wouldn't use the word limitations. Okay, if you want to use that word, I would use this. Just get away from his deficiencies. The same reason that, do you know why the Patriots had a quick check down game and a screen game? Brady could not take interior pressure. So that's why he became a master at the check down game. Was because of that. Barkley, highest paid running back, obviously him. Okay, well, he still doesn't make more money than the $50 million quarterback. Obviously not fucking smart. Terrible take, as always. The guy's that guy right now, in my opinion, boy, you talk about a guy who has horrific takes. He's it. Jake Elliott bounced back year as well. Okay, I mean, I don't really know anything about kickers. I have no idea who the best kicker is, who the best not. I don't really follow that. Now, punters, on the other hand, I do. Because punters change field position. Take care of the ball and play great defense. We should win most of our games. Well, the determining factor will be, will you be able to play great defense? Okay? Here's Texas boy. The Eagles can repeat if their defense can do what they did last year. But it's not the same. Now, here's where it could be the same. If Bond plays his balls off again and Carter elevates his game, and out of nowhere, Jordan Davis plays well, or better, I don't know, man. I tell you, I think Davis is a big factor in whether or not they're going to be a good defensive unit this year. And they cannot sustain injuries. I don't believe you're deep. Carter goes down. Who are you putting in there? Who are you putting in there? You don't have Milton anymore. You don't have Thomas. Who are you putting in there? Ty Robinson? All right. Gabe Hall? If Carter or Davis goes down, who are you putting in there? I'm talking about your depth here. Who are you putting in there? I'll knock on wood. Hey, says, do you think Saban benching Hurts and him transferring to OU, besides his dad being coach, really propelled his intangibles and his poise? Yes, I do. Yeah, yes, I do. I think that helped his journey the same way that Jayden Daniels' journey. Same way Cam Ward's journey. Hey, Xander, I missed Prince's super chat. If we could get that up. Yes, I absolutely do. Guys, keep doing the supers. Hit the like button. Thank you guys a lot. You guys are killing it today. What's the difference between Jalen Hurts' 23 season and Joe Burrow's season last year? Both had poor defenses. But Hurts took his team to the playoffs. The Eagles are built to win either way. Are you trying to tell me you really think that 2023 team that Joe Burrow was on, and again, you were 10-1. You guys reminded me of that all the time. And you won 11 ball games in a weaker NFC. Okay? Absolutely. Joe Burrow's not on a good football team, dude. He hasn't been on a good football. I'll make this point to you. One of the most shocking Super Bowl opponents in the last 35 years is Burrow taking that Bengals team to the Super Bowl against the Rams. It's remarkable. That team is terrible. Terrible. Okay? Well, shit, 23. AFC won a Super Bowl. Yeah. Seals, how do you think the staff views this year's squad compared to last year's squad? Great question. Great question. A lot more questions. I don't think they're disappointed in the talent. I don't. Here, I said this to Xander prior to coming on the air here about Keely Ringo. I think it's a rep thing with him. They should have played him more last year, but they couldn't get him on the field. They couldn't get him on the field. He couldn't beat Isaiah Rodgers out. Don't you understand how that's playing out now? Do you not understand that? He could not beat Isaiah Rodgers out. And now he's replacing Slay? That's quite an ask. What was the difference between those two teams? Hurts' turnovers. Hurts' turnovers. He had 23 turnovers. And if you go back to the beginning of this past year, in 23 games, he had 26 turnovers. He was turning the ball over because it had high volume. What was the difference? They took the ball out of his hands and gave it to the running back, and it was Barkley. Barkley was the difference. This is a huge jump. He needs reps. Put him on the field. Get him the reps. That's the only thing that's going to happen. Hey, they got to play him a ton of. But according to Nick, him and Howie will determine who's going to play. I mean, right? I put this stat up here. I'm going to show you something. It's about your Eagle defense. On how Howie Roseman is at the nickel and dime store this year. You remember that topic that I brought up? Do you remember the topic that I brought up? Do you think, it's funny. Some of you guys think I gaslight you, but I bring topics up for a reason. Because they will be addressed. Remember I told you, do you believe that Howie Roseman is looking more towards the 26 and 27 year and overlooking the 2025 year? Remember those topics we did? And you guys kept saying, no. Okay? You guys kept saying, no. Let me ask you that question one more time. Do you think this offseason, the Philadelphia Eagles had more of a concern on 25, 26, or 27? Before I get into this new topic, do you believe that they had an emphasis on this year compared to 2026 and 27? Do you think this year was a major priority? Do you? I think Ringo issue may be football IQ. Could be. Not knowing the playbook. Not having it resonate. Sure. But I'd like to see him with more reps, King. Thank you. Okay. So let's take a look at this right here, and I'm going to point something out to you. In 2025, the Philadelphia Eagles have the cheapest defense in all of pro football. Let's see here. The Eagle defense is the cheapest. So let's go here with the defense here. Interior D lineman, you're paying $18 million. Highest team right now are the Broncos, the Titans, the Steelers, the lowest D-line are the Rams. That probably makes sense with Verse and the other kid, Fisk, from Florida State, and you've got young guys too. Now, that number will go up. Edge rushers. The Eagles are spending $11 million on edge. It's the cheapest edge room in the entire National Football League. You're not spending a dime out there. And it looks it. Here, linebackers. The Rams are the cheapest. The Eagles are the second cheap. Chargers, Browns, then the Eagles. At safety, you're spending $7 million. And the highest are the Patriots at $31 million. The Chargers at $39. Corner. The Eagles are spending $14 million. So check this out. $66 million you're paying for your defensive football team. It's the cheapest defense in pro football. So I'm going to ask you this. Do you think that translates on the field this year? You spent nothing and hoping that your draft picks are going to pan out like Sidney Brown, Andrew Makuba, Keely Ringo, Trotter, Moro Ojomo, whom else? Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, N'Kobe Dean, Q, Cooper, that all of those guys are going to duplicate what they did a year ago and also elevate their games. Get this. Well, it's funny he should say that. In the last 6 years, the Philadelphia Eagles have not had a football player on their team where they've given a second contract to. Will that change? Obviously. Jalen Carter, change. This is why they've balked on the Reed Blankenship contract. Why else wouldn't they have signed him? Why else would they not have signed Reed? They don't want to. Not yet. Not until they see what they have. If they come out of camp and Sydney's better and Makuba looks like he could be somebody, why in the world would you sign a guy to $15 million? when you spend a second and third on a safety. And you've got Coop in the mix. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because you like him? I don't think that's how they do business. How many people in here tell me that? Well, hey, Howie's brilliant in drafting. Okay. Well, if Howie's so good at drafting and they look at their draft picks as being really enormous pieces and assets, they're not going to sign Reed Blankenship when they look at their draft picks being major assets. There's nothing holding up Reed Blankenship's contract except what? They're not sure. Why can't you say that? Is it that hard? Hey, I got no fish in this pond with this. Why can't you say that? That they're just not sure. I promise you, unless that guy gets out to a superstar, they're not paying him. There is nothing stopping that. There's no timing. There's no timing in it. You're going to save nothing unless you're planning on making a move. What, are you thinking of trading him? I don't know. What else would you be doing here? Eagles drafted well? Well, we'll find out. That's going to be put to the test this year. I love Reed, but I wouldn't pay him more than 8. I don't even know if I'd pay him that. If I'm going to pay him 8, why wouldn't I have kept a better player, Gardner Johnson? Hey, by the way, how many more years older is Gardner Johnson than Reed Blankenship? Does anybody know? What's the age difference? What's the age difference there? And those two ball players. Like 2 or 3? Okay, so 2 years difference in age. And you're going to pay Reed Blankenship $8 million? I would have kept a guy who was an impact on both my Super Bowl teams. That doesn't make sense. And then you draft a guy in the second round. I'm not, hey, it probably will make sense, and Howie will make it make sense. He will. But I don't get it in what they're doing back there. Dude, Makuba, he needs more time. If you start that guy in the opener, he needs more time. You could see it. Let me get this here. So let me get this straight. You're not giving Howie the benefit of the doubt on a trade, especially with the Raiders. The Raiders, they initiated this trade. It wasn't it wasn't the Eagles. The Raiders wanted to get a defensive tackle to cover for Christian Wilkins. The Raiders are the ones that called. Bad take, kids' PFF numbers. Get this. Anthony will tell you he had good PFF numbers on the 26th ranked pass defense in football who won 4 fucking games and try to sell you that the guy's good. He never heard of the guy's name until today. You never fucking heard of this guy. And he was on a shitty team. By the way, dude, Thomas Booker, the Raiders needed to fill a hole. You don't have a hole according to you. You think Ringo's the guy. And Adoree's the guy. Nick said it today. It's a depth piece. So wait a minute. The Raiders made a move to get a guy who could start right now, but the Eagles get a guy, according to Nick, who's a depth piece. And you're trying to convince me that they made a trade with the Raiders for a depth piece when the Raiders needed to find a guy to start in the defensive line. Yeah. Make that make sense. Yeah, we just added a camp guy, but they initiated the trade. How did they initiate the trade? No, Prince, you're right. He's a great ball player. And if that's the case, Prince, get this, folks, you lose on your Ringo take. If he's so good, Prince, then they brought him in because Ringo sucks. Which is it? Either Ringo sucks and Howie made a move because Ringo sucks, or the Raiders called for Thomas Booker. Which is it, Prince? Pick one. Which is it? I can't wait to see this one. Which is it? Let's see what he says. Prince. Okay, wait. Well, then you're saying that Ringo sucks. They made a move for him because they gambled wrong, right? If Howie initiated it, right? What? Oh my God. I can't even read that. Which is it? Bro, what the fuck do you give a fuck how my feelings are? The Raiders took our 5th draft pick at defensive tackle while we selected their 3rd string player. Okay. They took this guy because they need a player because of Wilkins leaving. Prince, take the day off, son. I'm not battling a conversation with numbnuts. It's just not happening. I mean, it's just not happening. Holy shit. These are terrible. I mean, you guys are just awful today. Ringo blows, so does Adoree Jackson. I'll guarantee that Bennett is the starter. Could be. Could be. So they brought him in then because Ringo's not playing well. Is that right? Get this. Watch this here. Yes, he is on August 5th, jackass. Sills, the secondary could struggle early on, but could the front 7 be good to hide the deficiencies? Gonna have to get a ton of pressures like you did. Okay? Absolutely. Like you did in 2022 when you got a shitload of pressures. You helped secondary out, and when you didn't get the pressure, what happened to Bradbury? He got exposed. You had high-volume sacks in 22. Any secondary is going to look good playing zone when you've got enormous pressure. Okay? Enormous pressure. Okay? Listen to this. We got a guy who started in the NFL for a DV who played 50 snaps all last year. Okay. So then Ringo blows and Ringo's out, like I predicted. Is that right, RC3? Is that what you're saying? You're wrong on Ringo. Is that right? They brought a guy in because he's not performing well. Is that right, RC3? Which is it? It's one or the other. Which is it? I'm curious. Which is it? Our defense is unknown right now, and Vic hasn't said anything to make us feel better about the replacements. No, he hasn't, except for the kid Campbell. Here's the guys who he singles out all the time. He singles out Jahad Campbell. He singles out Q, Cooper, He hasn't really talked much about Bond because Bond's been injured. Yeah. Hasn't really singled anyone else out, I don't think. Seals, we got so many casuals in this fan base. There's absolutely no chance in hell that Simple Jack Bennett is a factor for this team. Mid-Olympics. By the way, Brian, they'll make you think that Howie makes all the moves and no other team calls in to make a trade with the Eagles to get a player. Is absurd. So the only guy and the only trades that go down are the ones that Howie fosters. How fucking dumb is that? You don't think another team will call for a player and want to make and see a deal if Howie can make a deal happen and he'll take a player off their team too? No, right? It's only the Eagles. Okay. Fans need to stop being so emotionally attached to these players. That's a correct take, especially those who haven't proven themselves. I just want the best players on the field. Amen. Dude, never fall in love with your players. Fall in like with them. Take onion ring Ringo out of the fryer. He's cooked. Xander, did I miss one? Did I miss a super here? Let's see here. No, I got him. Okay, we're good. Thank you, Mikey. Guys, all supers go to the top here. So, Howie Roseman not making any significant moves on defense this past offseason by adding additional players, and you're the cheapest defense in the National Football League. I ask you again, you really thought that he did the job this year? Do you really believe that? That they were really focused on 25 this year? You may think so. We'll find out again on August 5th. I don't know. I really don't know yet. Love Howie, but dropped the ball on Rodgers walking. I would even say this. Hey, I thought the Oren Burks move was going to be a bad one. I think the Oren Burks move looks actually pretty good now. They moved out from him, and they look like they got this kid Munding can play. Trotter's having a camp, and Campbell can be a good one. And when they get Dean back, I mean, they're going to have a pretty strong linebacker group. As a matter of fact, I'll say this to you. I think the linebacking group might be actually the strength of the football team. They just might be the strength of the team. You got a lot of good football players there. Okay, I'm a believer in Ringo. Still, he proves me wrong. Till he proves me wrong. He struggled after a couple of games. Then the sound of the alarm. I'm not panicking. First week of August, y'all need to relax. Well, the Eagles made them, according to some in here, the Eagles are the ones that made a move. They weren't relaxed. According to some, they traded for the next All-Pro. The next All-Pro. Okay, I mean, can't believe that the linebacking core, after a year, look at it. Well, then again, you would have to say this. Okay? You would have to say this, that Vic Fangio probably, right? Probably, that's his strength. You're acting like the Cowboy fans. Let's get realistic. They can't. And they shouldn't. They're the defending champs. I'm taking the over on how many times Eat Crow Sills will be wrong this year. I'm not wrong so far on your boy Ringo, according to the move they made yesterday. Either the guy fucking blows or the Raiders called because they needed a DT and they threw a corner in. Which is it? Yesterday, we added Eli Ricks to the mix. Dude, why can't you see what the team is saying to you? I'm not saying this, the team is. Get this, they added Eli Ricks to the competition. Then they went out and got a guy. How do you think that's going? If you're get this. Imagine if you worked as a sales guy somewhere. You're working away, and all of a sudden, the your boss, starts talking about somebody else doing really well in sales. This guy's name is Eli Ricks. He's doing well. He's almost my number one seller right now. Then the next day, they go out and hire another one that does the same role as you. How do you feel about that? Good or bad? How do you feel about that? If you're out there competing, if you're Dory Jackson too, how you feeling? Dory Jackson and Keely Ringo have not stepped up for the opportunity. I'm hearing this. Eli Ricks and now this new dude. But Eagle fans won't want to hear this. Stephon Gilmore's still out there, and the Eagles got a bad Raider corner. Come on now. Yeah, I mean, look, I like Stephon Gilmore. Remember something, Texas boy. The Eagles are cheap right now in defense. This is maybe the last year they're going to be cheap over there. They're not spending any money. They're cutting money. They're slashing prices. They got rid of an $11 million corner. They got rid of an $8 million safety. They got rid of a $13 million edge rusher. They got rid of another $17 million edge rusher. I mean, they slashed prices this offseason. Okay? No. I'm the one asking you this. I know what happened. I told you. One or the other happened. According to you, Abe. Stick to a side. I haven't deviated off it. Raiders called the Eagles, wanting to make a trade for Thomas Booker. You know how I know that? Because Pete Carroll called Clint Hurtt. Wanted to know about Thomas Booker. The same way that Vic called Howie Roseman when he was in Miami, wanting to know if they can make a trade for Milton Williams. I know it's hard for you guys to believe. Other teams can call the Eagles about their backup players. You don't want to hear it? I don't give a fuck if you don't believe it or not. Vic called the Eagles. They tried to make a trade for Milton Williams. Get this. This guy says that's a lie. How many people in here know and heard Vic say, I tried to make a trade for Milton Williams when I was in Miami? How many people remember that? How many people remember Vic Fangio saying I tried to make a trade for Milton Williams? This guy's trying to tell you that's a lie. He said it publicly. But this guy don't want to hear it. So what, the Raiders didn't? Okay. Not. Sills on defense, Eagles shop at the 99-cent store. Right now they are. Now again, that's going to change in the offseason here. Isn't that funny? You don't believe other teams call the Eagles to try to trade for some of their backup guys, right? Really? And that Howie's the only one that picks the phone up, and it's Howie making the moves and not other teams. Okay. Nobody calls Howie for a trade. He's the only one that initiates trades. That's a new one now. I had never heard that one. That's a new one. Kevin Byrd, Shaq Leonard, Devin White, and now Jakuski Tart Bennett. These dudes truly don't study the game. Don't watch no film. Hey, man. Clint's a leak. Common knowledge. It's not a leak. Coaches call about players they potentially want to trade for, especially in training camp. It's not a leak. It's how business is done, kid. I'm here to help you. when you make a trade, you call the agent. Then what you do is if the deal is getting closer, you reach out. What do you make of Thomas Booker? We're thinking of trading for him. Great player. And you know why Clint Hurtt is good with him moving on? It gives that player a chance to play more reps than he would in Philly. And it gives him a chance to start somewhere. Every D-line coach or any linebacker coach is pushing for his players to get more opportunity so they can make more money. It's no shade. Okay? Apparently, this guy can play inside. And if the injury to McWilliams is worse than we thought, then they are throwing Coop outside and Bennett in the slot. Okay. Well, it's August 5th, Mikey. I sure hope they figure it out. Vic said it the other day. You're starting to run out of days. Aren't you? You're starting to run out of days. Does it make sense for Ringo to try safety? Dude, you need to find a corner. You need to find a corner, and if it's Ringo, you got to go with him. Hey, by the way, Adoree Jackson winning that job is not a good thing. That's not a good thing. A guy who went out and picked up off the street to beat one of your guys out you've had on the roster for 3 years is not a good thing. You think that's a good thing? Do you really think that's good that Adoree? I heard him say that the competition's close. That's not what you want to hear. Why did you keep Ringo on the roster then if it's close? Seals, Howie and Laurie have worked hard to get some big contracts off the books in favor of the younger cap-friendly players. No doubt. And you know what? They are the cheapest defense in football, but there's talent there. Cooper, Q, Jalen Carter, okay? There's talented guys there. So I get it. I'm not dude, not every one of those players are dime store guys. Some of those guys are going to be high-end football players in 2 years. Even with the moves, we're still ahead of the pack, but it's closer. No, the Eagles backed up. The league didn't get closer to you. You backed your organization up. Not to a point where anybody's overtaken you. I have never said that. I didn't say that, but you backed the train up. Or you slowed it down. Because you know why? You're going to speed it up in 26 and 27 again. This is why I told you. If these teams don't beat Philly this year, they'll never beat them. Barring injuries, you're going to be dynamite in 26 and 27. All the draft picks you have, all the equity, young players that are going to sign. Shit. The future looks brighter than the present. Remember I said that. The future, okay, is brighter than the present. Seals, your point doesn't make sense. Okay. The Raiders reached out. Yes. Howie didn't grab a piece. Howie asked for the piece. They threw the guy in, the Raiders. They needed a guy to replace Wilkins. The Raiders called out. And if you're telling me that they grabbed a depth piece, Prince, either he's a starter. Prince, did they bring him in to compete for the corner job, or did they bring him in for depth? Nick said today they brought him in for depth. So if they brought a piece in for depth, they brought Booker in to compete for a starting job. Nick said today they brought him in for depth. Which is it, dude? You tell me. I'm going by your head coach. Your coach said depth, nothing about competing. Thomas Booker's going to get a chance to start. Nick said today in his press conference, he's a depth piece. Which is it, dude? I know what happened. This is why I told you Gabe Hall was making the team. I said they really... Remember when I was going over that with Xander? He goes, you think he's making the team, really? I go, they like him a lot. That trade was going down last week. I knew that they were working with that guy. They like him. They think there's something there. Okay? I say it, secondary wins Super Bowls, reloaded year. Well, hang on here. Let's see how the other teams and how injuries go. You might be right there, man. Okay, so look at this. Look at this comment. Yes, I believe they are placing Cooper at safety, so it's depth. Okay, so it's a depth piece. The Raiders made a move for a starter. Sills, they took a torch to the defense, and they're relying on the linebacker position, which is Vic's strength that was so critical last year besides the run game. Setting the edges are going to be interesting this coming season. Okay? Here's our Anthony. Topics that need to stop. Cooper playing outside. I think Cooper plays outside if they don't find a corner. Vic said the roster will dictate where he lands in base. Did you not hear that? Simmons is not coming. That would be a colossal admission of failure on letting Gardner Johnson go. If they sign Justin Simmons, Howie Roseman will have admitted to screwing up the Gardner Johnson move. Never in a million years is Justin Simmons coming here. That would be admitting to making a mistake by moving off him. Blankenship re-sign. Yeah, I don't know. Okay? Raiders may have the worst roster in the league. It's right there. I believe Howie makes all staff promise him to fleecings if they move on to a better position. So wait a minute. So, Ronald, nobody calls up the Eagles wanting to make a trade for some of their players that could be potentially going to land on a practice squad or backup players or some of those old linemen, or maybe even Tanner McKee. Nobody would call for that. Howie initiates everything. So he's the only general manager that doesn't receive calls from other general managers. He's the only one. He's only got an out dial. Nobody can call in. Is that right? Ronald, I'm just trying to use a point here. That's what the people in here are thinking. That he doesn't get calls from anyone. That's crazy. I'll tell you what I would do if I were the Commanders. I'd trade that Terry McLaurin to the Raiders for that Genty guy. Put that Genty guy in the backfield, then make a trade and go down and get Tyreek Hill and bring his ass up to Washington. That thing's not going well. Okay? Down in Miami with trying to rebuild the relationship between Tua and Tyreek Hill. That doesn't seem very good. So yet to be determined. Don't be shocked if the Miami Dolphins, remember I said this, don't be shocked if the Miami Dolphins move Tyreek Hill. People at the Rosenhaus camp think the Dolphins are taking phone calls on trying to move Tyreek Hill again. I mean, that's not going well. Tua called him out again. saying GMs don't call for trades with the Eagles might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard on this show so far. I never said that. People in here are saying that. Okay? Here, watch this. Here's one of those guys. Since you mentioned that if Howie inquired about a player in your depth chart, you wouldn't entertain it because they see something in that player that you don't. That's why they didn't call. They called the Eagles for Booker. Correct. Thank you. Yeah. And then Howie goes, I'll take that guy. Sure. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what went down. No, they're not. They're not going to do that. Supposedly, Gentry's having a great camp, too. I mean, can you imagine if the Raiders get that guy to play into being one of the top 5 running backs, and then you got that Brock Bowers guy? I don't know, man. Raiders might surprise some people and make some noise and win some ball games, 8 or 9 ball games. Okay? They might just win 8 or 9 ball games. Okay? They might just do that. Should have kept Brian Flores and brought in a good OC to work with Tua in the offense. Not after he called out the owner, Stephen Ross. If you remember, Forrest, he called out the owner for throwing games to get a better draft pick. And he said basically that they told him to lose games. And that's what got him fired in the end. And that's why he's in Minnesota right now. So that was never going to happen. He was never going to keep his job. Okay, here. Get this. You see when you say Geno Smith will never be a threat. I never thought Brad Johnson would win a Super Bowl. I never thought Garoppolo would ever get to one. But he did. So those comments, you don't have to have a great quarterback to get to a Super Bowl. You have to have a great football team. My point is emphasized just with the names I just mentioned. You do not have to be an elite quarterback to get to a Super Bowl. Shit, you guys know that in 17. You had a guy playing elite football, and then a substitute teacher came in and went. Numerous guys. Brock Purdy, you don't think is elite. He got the one. Seals, are you worried about right guard? No. And here's why. By the way, one thing about that right guard thing. Matt Pryor's not having a good camp. Okay? He's not having a good camp. Okay? So is Tyler Steen winning that job? Kenyon Green's throwing up on the sidelines. He misses practice almost every other day or is out of practice. He's been a colossal disaster since they made that move with Gardner Johnson. It's just been he's terrible. Like, that is not a Jeff Stoutland guy. Another move by Howie not conferring with his coaches. He's not in shape? Well, shit, you're in the wrong room with Jeff Stoutland if you're not in shape. I mean, okay. So is Steen winning that because of the competition that's not there this year? Is he really doing a great job or not? I don't know. Nobody's competing for that gig. Matt Pryor's getting beat. He's not having a good camp. Steen's been solid. Is he Mekhi Becton? I don't know. Okay? Sills crushed Trotter when we drafted him. No, I didn't crush him. I said he's a 5th rounder. He ran a 4.8. He's not exceptionally athletic. He's smart. He has instincts. I think he'll be a good role player. But at the end of the day, he's not going to be a starting linebacker in Philadelphia. He'll be a good football player. If you thought he was so special, why'd you draft Jahad Campbell? Either he's going to be replacing Dean. Trotter's not going to win that job, ever. You just drafted a linebacker, and you just paid a guy $17 million. You actually think Trotter's the better guy and who they want to play in there? Trotter's a dude that'll be on the team and be an important part of it. They're grooming him to be the Oren Burks role. Okay? Done talking to some of these guys today. Some of these guys are off their A game. Campbell's a chess piece. He has no position, big silly. Yes, he does. He'll be playing inside linebacker next to Zach Bond. And casually, occasionally, he'll play out at the edge to disguise coverages and fronts. Nothing impactful. Becton, not only a good story, but a real good dude, teammate. Guy will be missed. He loved playing there. He did. You saw it last year. Okay? Who said Keegan's getting cut? Nobody said Keegan's getting cut. I didn't even mention Trevor Keegan. Okay? So why the F you, the Raiders, trade him to Washington? What? Trade who? I said I would do that. I would ask Washington. I'm trying to make a point. Teams call for players all the time. You know, John Lynch called me. You know how they got Jimmy Garoppolo? Just to show you how fucked up this stupid ass is. John Lynch on my radio show one time came on and said, I called for Tom Brady. And that's how we got Garoppolo. I said, you called the Patriots wanting to trade for Tom Brady? He goes, yes. So then we worked our way down to Jimmy Garoppolo. And Belichick didn't want to give him up. And that's where Kraft came in because Garoppolo was going to be the replacement of Brady in New England. And he didn't want to give him up. Brady made him give him up. And you know who they're both rep by? My friend Don Yee. Don Yee's the agent for both Garoppolo and Brady. Sills, I think Becton and Hampton would be a lethal combo. I like Becton, man. Good football player. Really good. Becton will be missed. He was mauling people and clearing lanes for Barkley. You know, I mentioned this on the morning show today in Tampa. I said this about Becton and Barkley. Barkley got through the line of scrimmage. Here's the craziest thing. By the way, Angelo Cataldi will join us. That'll be at 4:30. And then Dave Lapam will join us. That'll be at 5:30, part of the broadcast team for the Cincinnati Bengals. I mentioned this. Barkley, 3.8 yards. He'd get into the line of scrimmage. Do you understand? 4 yards of carry before you get hit. So every 3 times you touch the ball, you got a first down. Why in the world do I want to improve my passing game? Because there's some sort of gangrene defense out there that I'm going to be playing against this year? There's no team in the AFC that has a defense like that except maybe Denver, maybe Houston. But the likelihood of you seeing them in a Super Bowl would be remote. Would be remote. I mean, look, here. I want to do this here now. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. I like actually doing what I'm about to do here. So WIP writes this like daily opinion on how the football team did today at practice. And I like it because some of the stuff that I say, you guys don't believe. But then there's a guy that was there at practice. Like John is great with what he does with Xander. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an opinion about WIP being out there on what they saw today at practice for day 10. The Eagles had a bit of a light practice, but still did plenty of team drills around the red zone. Hurts took advantage of it, throwing 5 TDs, which exactly what you want to see him when the offense gets 20 yards plus and plays inside the 20, inside the red zone. He had a few really nice throws to get those touchdowns. They weren't easy ones. He had a pass to Barkley over the middle, and he squeezed one into a tight window for a touchdown at about the 10-yard line. His touchdown pass to Goddard was also impressive. Hurts had pressure in his face, but threw it off his back foot around the 15-yard line, and there was Goddard coming across the middle. His final touchdown of the day was to Devontae from the 25-yard line out. Hurts spotted the mismatch with Uche one-on-one versus Devontae. My God almighty. Vic's dropping Uche covering Devontae Smith. Yeah, you might want that one back. Okay, the issue with Hurts was the issue was Hurts also put the ball in harm's way a few times and missed another touchdown. He had a really bad interception when he lofted the ball to the front of the end zone. He had a pressure in his face and threw it up for an easy INT. He also had a pass that should have been picked off by Ringo, but was dropped, and missed another touchdown pass that clearly could have been intercepted. So I don't know. I mean, they're working on stuff here. This is not really an indictment on anything because you don't know what they're working on. You don't know if they're taking the run game out of it. So I don't know. That sounds like an offensive day to me, that they were working down in the red zone. So again, yeah, I mean, I don't want Jalen Hurts to play well in camp. I want Jalen Hurts to be working on everything that he's not good at. I already know what he's good at. You get into a football season. I mean, last year, what you were talking about, the guy throwing for 4,700 yards because of what the people were talking about him in camp. Turned out to be half of that. And they won a Super Bowl. Right? All right. Hey, man, I'll tell you. What's the guy's name again? Dr. Kevorkian? Oh, wait, what's his name? Jakorian Bennett. Who the fuck is Javorkian? Is it Javorkian? Or what is that? Kevorkian. Yeah. Jakorian Bennett. You added to the mix here. All right. Without further ado, let's get Big Z's take on this high-powered trade here. Unbelievable. Now, either this, folks, either they brought a guy in to compete against Ringo and Adoree Jackson, or they added depth. Which is it? Only guy we can ask is the co-host of Birds 365, Big Z. Xander Kraus joins now.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing.
Well, let me guess. You don't like the Jakorian Bennett move.
I don't know who the fuck he is. I don't know. At first I heard his name was today.
Yeah. I can't say I am a Jakorian Bennett scholar. I didn't know much about him until last night. But look, you get rid of Booker. What did he have? Fifth defensive tackle, and you add some depth at cornerback. Clearly, Ringo doesn't look as good as we were hoping, and Adoree Jackson doesn't look as good as we were hoping. I think that's the takeaway right there, is that those guys haven't seized the job like they probably wanted one of them to do it. I like it from the perspective of you got younger and cheaper, and you got 2 years now with this guy on $1 million. And doesn't it put pressure on Ringo? Like Ringo kind of was coming into the year, all right, you signed Adoree Jackson. He's a one-year player, not going to be here long-term. You're probably going to have a chance to win the job. Yo, dude, now we just traded for the dude who was drafted one spot ahead of you with 2 years left on his rookie deal, and both of you guys are fighting for a contract in the NFL. And only one of you is probably going to play. So I think it gives pressure a little bit in a spot where, pressure has a better chance at creating a diamond than the alternative. So I like it from that reason, but I don't think he's going to come in and save the day, Big Sills. I'm not sure yet on that.
You think he makes another move at safety?
I don't think this is the last move of the summer. I don't know if it's going to be
edge or safety.
Maybe they'd add an edge. I mean, you don't. They've already gotten rid of one guy on the defensive front. I mean, they're not going to get rid of another guy there. Now, maybe they would bring somebody in potentially. They do have a boatload of draft picks. Probably edge.
Probably edge. How do you feel about the depth at defensive line now? Interior D line.
I mean, I'll say
I told you they like Gabe. Listen, I've heard nothing.
Yeah, no, they like Gabe Hall, but we. I mean, listen, Gabe Hall he's unproven. I mean, we don't know what he's going to be. I'll say this about Thomas Booker. Like, I ain't going to get tripped up about trading the fifth defensive tackle, but I'll say this: there's not many teams that you can have your fifth defensive tackle on the field and not feel like And Booker was good enough to not feel like which is right. I think a big thing for a fifth round or for a fifth defensive tackle. When he was on the field, you maybe didn't expect Jalen Carter, obviously, but you certainly weren't like, holy shit, get him off the field. He was a solid player. So he had no chance, though, to start here, and if Bennett has a chance to start,
that's right, with the Raiders.
Is that an advantage over keeping Booker because the guy you brought in has an actual chance to start, versus Booker would have never had a chance to start on this team.
Never.
So I don't know. I mean, look, there's a lot of different ways to look
Booker
at this.
Booker had no future here.
No, exactly. And Jakorian Bennett right now could play himself into a future here.
Okay, and that's why Clint Hurtt and don't you think? Do you see the connection? Right, Clint Hurtt was the D coordinator for Pete Carroll in Seattle, and Pete's the head coach in Las Vegas. Had a conversation before the trade last week.
Yep,
they were talking about it and said, "Hey, look, we really because you know what people find that hard to believe." Vic told you last year they tried to make a move for Milton Williams when he was the DC down with the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
These teams all do this. They all contact.
Yeah, and look, maybe I think Pete Carroll obviously liked Clint Hurtt. So, you go and you get one of his guys. So, listen, it's a good move it has the potential to be a good move for both teams. I think Booker probably should be happy about this because he's better than this roster. He's going to have a chance to play over there. So, we'll see. I mean, he did go from the Eagles to the Raiders now. I mean,
man,
that's not particularly the most ideal circumstance. But
when you go from one thing like that to that, you're like you feel it immediately in the building. Now, it is Pete Carroll, so Pete will make the environment a little better. But you are dead nails on with that. I mean, you're walking into you're walking into like Neiman Marcus, and now you're all of a sudden walking into the dollar store. It's a completely different shelf, bro.
Right.
It's a completely different. All right. So let me ask you something here, and I'm going to go back on this here. So I heard something interesting today. Nick Sirianni. By the way, Angelo's on at 4:30.
Nick Sirianni what?
Sirianni goes like this. And I don't know if it was John or if it was that Selkie guy, but somebody asked this question.
Who? Silky?
Silky guy? What's his name from the Inquirer? Mike Silky?
Oh, Silky. Yeah,
that guy. They're real analytical questions, so that's what really sticks out to me. I got to look.
That's so Silky.
Yeah. And so
I don't have a problem with him.
No, I love his shit. I totally do. I think he writes with a great pen. He said that Vic wants to get some playing time and wants to see, some of his guys out there Thursday because Burrow's going to be playing, And Nick fired back and said, yeah, Howie and I will sit down and we'll determine who's going to play or not. And then we'll let Vic know. Now I want to put this.
Whoa.
I want to put this out there. I mean, do you really think he knew who Dr. Jakorian Bennett was?
So you want to
No.
bash?
What?
Well, I know what you're doing.
No,
You bash Sirianni that he doesn't do. What does the guy do? What's the guy do? He's got the coordinator.
Oh, his job.
And then he fucking says, I'm the head coach. I'm going to make a decision. And now you got a problem with it.
Okay, so Nick and Howie pick who plays on exhibition football on Sundays. It's not the coordinator.
Absolutely. And you know what?
Okay.
I'll take this one step further. All right. And not everybody's going to like this, but yo, Vic, sit down and shut the fuck up. All right. You had plenty of a chance to be a head coach in this football league, and you haven't had damn near the success that Nick Sirianni had. And by the way, he had a lot of that success before you showed up. All right. So don't come in here.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Be the damn defensive coordinator, but don't step outside.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I mean, look, I love Vic Fangio, and I don't have a problem with it, but I'm perfectly good with Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni making this decision because they've done it for the last 4 years, and we have been healthy the last 4 years. So
I'm not disagreeing with that. Okay? Do you think that's rubbing Vic the wrong way a little bit here?
Maybe, but get your ego burnt for all I care. Man, I don't care. You didn't succeed as a head coach. You know, you're a defensive coordinator. You willingly became a defensive coordinator, said, I want to finish my career as this. That doesn't give you the autonomy to run an organization because you had a good defense. It doesn't. You're a great defensive coordinator. Congratulations. Dominate your room. Outside of that, I got the rest.
Okay.
I'll take your input, but.
So Vic had no say in this kid being added to the team.
Well, maybe. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't think any conversations.
For the way he talked, he had no input on the Dory Jackson joining you.
Well, he made that very clear, didn't he? Didn't he? I don't know about Jakorian. I don't know. I mean, I did think it was interesting a week ago is when he said that. And then a week later, they got another corner in the room. I don't know. Maybe Vic had more to do with it. The only thing I'm saying is about the who's playing. Like, I know Vic wants a certain thing and he's entitled to want it, but you're not going to get your way. If you want to get your way, then go work for another organization where they give you that say. You don't get it here in Philly.
So you think that's not going to wear out people the way they do things after a while?
Well, what do you mean? He's the defensive coordinator.
Okay. Well, I have some people who believe that guy makes personnel decisions and also that he is a guy who's picking talent. He's not. He's clearly not. How he picks the talent, how he tells you who's playing. You just said it. And I'm not disagreeing. You're right. You got a track record. You're telling me a guy who gets in front of a microphone and gives you, what does John call them? Fucking truth bombs or Vic bombs? You think that's not going to he wore his welcome out down in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Vic wants to do that, he's going to be playing himself out of a damn good situation, you know, and that would be more of him being an old dude who doesn't want to be told what to do, which is fine. He can think like that. I mean, but that doesn't mean the organization has to bend the knee to him. I mean, they're not gonna. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening with it, but I'd like Vic to stay in his lane, which I think he is, by the way. I don't know if I mean, look, he's allowed to have an opinion. He probably wants players to play more, but I don't have any problem with Nick and Howie stepping in and saying, that's good. Thanks for sharing that. But I'm going to do what we want to do. We're going to make the final call here. There has to be some hierarchy of power. All right. That's necessary.
No, everyone has to know their role.
Yeah. And I think that's what they're doing.
So one more time here, though, I mean, can this become a problem?
I mean, it could only become a problem if Vic Fangio really wants a lot more say than he has.
You think he's more vocal about that now this year than he's ever been?
But here's the thing. Why has Vic never had a number one defense in the NFL until last year?
Because he didn't know the personnel.
Oh, exactly. So, dude, again, you're a great defensive coordinator, but Howie Roseman got you a set of talent that you made the best defense you've ever got your hands on.
Totally not disagreeing with you.
You know, so I'm not trying to be a tough guy on Vic. I love Vic. I think he's a big reason we have a Super Bowl championship.
Absolutely.
Ring. But Vic's been in this league for a long time, and he hasn't had success like he's had in Philly. So he's smart enough to know that too. All right. And everybody's going to have a role. And Nick is the head coach, not Vic. Howie Roseman's the GM, not Vic. And I don't have any problem with them saying that. I also don't have a problem, by the way, with Vic wanting the players. He's allowed to want them. Where I would have a problem with it is if you're going to go, like you're saying, create a problem because you want something and you don't get your way. This isn't your organization to run, to make those decisions. And this organization has technically given you more than any of the other organizations you work for in 40 years.
How about this? Do you think that, these players that he's bringing in, though, he's bringing in profile players, which, again, Vic Fangio doesn't know who this fucking guy is. He barely knew who Adoree Jackson was.
Brian Pumper loves that take.
Just tell him to shut the fuck up.
No, I did say shut the fuck up. I mean, about playing preseason, yeah, shut the fuck up. You don't get to make a say. You're allowed to have a say, obviously, somewhat in personnel. But wasn't Vic kind of bitching about some of the personnel early in the year? Oh, I'll tell you week 12. All right, well, that personnel that was being chirped was also the personnel that gave you the best defense you've ever had. That might solidify your place in Canton. All right, so that personnel was pretty damn good, and let Howie continue to make his moves. I think Howie is right to make moves on his
Because
timeline.
he's got a resume.
Exactly. I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt more so than Vic, especially when it comes to personnel. Now, when it comes to coaching them up and where to play guys, okay, fine. Yeah, that's all Vic. Thank you, Vic. But I don't need Vic to be that type of coach. And I don't think Vic wants to be, but I'm sure there's some things they disagree on.
I think he throws a couple shots across the bow there every now and then at it too.
Yeah, and look, he might be late enough in his career where he really doesn't care.
Yeah, he probably right.
Yeah, he'll get fired and be like, I don't really care. I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
What will be more beneficial to the Philadelphia Eagles this year? Jalen Hurts going for 4,200 passing yards and 30 touchdowns, or Saquon Barkley going for 1,800 yards and 18 TDs?
What was the question? More beneficial?
What will be more beneficial to winning a championship this coming season? Jalen Hurts throwing for 4,200 yards and 30 touchdowns, or Saquon Barkley running for 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns?
I'm going to take a push because if either of those things happen, we're winning another Super Bowl.
Not if you will for 42. Not if you throw for 4,200 yards.
Yeah, we are.
Never happened.
Yeah,
you threw for 2,900 last year, and you won a Super Bowl.
And again,
you think by improving the pass,
broke the mold, and Sileo can't accept it.
He didn't break the mold.
Yes, he did.
He broke the mold by not having the ball in his hand. Congratulations.
He broke the mold.
You're right. He did.
To win.
You're right. He broke the mold. He broke the mold on not having to be that important during the regular season. Yeah.
Oh man, that is such a
so
shot.
Again,
I don't even think you agree.
So
I don't even think you believe that take.
I do. They fucking how in the it happened. Whether or not I believe it or not, it happened. I mean, that's what they did. Hey, sit down, kid. Don't worry. We're going to give it to this guy, Barkley. So
wait, let me answer this comment. He said, Tony says, yeah, Xander, but Xander, Vic has changed the culture, and he's been right about personnel. What personnel?
What personnel? No way.
Tony, appreciate the comment, and I love Vic, and I'm with you, and I'm not trying to discredit him. He's obviously a great coordinator, but what personnel are you speaking of? And also, what culture are you speaking of? I'm not really aware of what it is that you're talking about. This team was a highly successful pre-Vic Fangio. So, look, I love Vic. I knew people were going to get all mad at me for saying, sit down, shut up, and dominate your room.
Right. I think you're dead on. Because that's my take, too. By the way, Angelo has to do Thursday. An emergency came up.
Oh, all right.
So he'll do
Cataldi. You got
by the way, tomorrow we will have at 4:30. We will have on Herm Edwards.
Yeah.
So Herm will join us.
He's going to glaze up Jayden Daniels, though.
What's that?
He's going to glaze up Jayden Daniels.
Why not? He recruited him and coached him.
Well, I can't blame him. Listen, if I were him, I would be doing the same thing. But that doesn't mean I have to enjoy listening to. Although I do love Herm Edwards, man. I love Herm Edwards. I'm really happy.
How do you not like Jayden Daniels?
I like Jayden Daniels. I think people have gone a little too far with Jayden Daniels.
In what way?
You talk about him like the guy is the second coming. It's like, dude, the guy had a good year.
Good. Probably the greatest rookie season of any quarterback in history. Yeah. Yeah. By the way,
real quick,
that's not just me saying that.
Off the field, did you see that goofy video on social media of him like taking his mom shopping and something? Did you see that?
Really awful. Really awful.
Really weird, right?
Yeah. Well, guess what, though? Lamar Jackson.
Kind of started that. Yeah, right.
Here's my.
It's a little different. It's a little different for Jayden and his. I don't really care, honestly.
Yeah, but
it's probably a sponsorship. It was probably
my only problem with Jayden is I do have to agree 100% with one thing. Dude, it's 1 year. I want to see a string of years because I saw RG3 play great his rookie year. He was the rookie of the year. What happened after that?
That's kind of my point on Jayden. I'm not out on the kid. I like the kid, man. I think he's a great story, and I think it's pretty cool to see him be so successful, to be honest with you. I like the story. Now, I'm an Eagle fan, so obviously I don't want to see him succeed to a certain level, but I can be objective and acknowledge how good he is as a player and the story and everything that comes with it. But I can also remain objective and say, it was 1 fucking year. 1 year. Like, I don't believe any player deserves to be crowned off 1 year. All right? We got questions on Quinyon Mitchell and Zach Bond this year because it's only been 1 year. Now, I think they're going to pan out. You can have the take you think Jayden's going to pan out. That's fine. But I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in football. No way.
Well, I think if he puts that team back in the playoffs again in his second season and he continues to improve. And by the way, folks, I can promise you, talking to Doug Williams, Terry McLaurin's not going anywhere. That's not happening. That is just not happening. They're not.
That team is not making good personnel.
The idea of chasing the Eagles down is not losing good players.
Sills, let me explain something though. And you know this better than anybody. When you're a GM of a football team, taking your team from shitty to good is a way different battle than going from good to consistently good to great. It's a lot harder to do that than it is to take you from shitty to good. And it's hard to take a team from shitty to good. And I think this year, people are going to see that Adam Peters hasn't quite learned yet how to hang with the big dogs. Because I don't think he made good decisions this offseason.
I don't think he did one bad move, man.
Javon best target for Jayden Daniels is in a contract dispute. I don't think he made that many good moves.
He improved the team in every move.
Offensive line, he improved the team.
Wide receiver 2, he did. Wide receiver 2. He's no longer a 1. He was a 1 in San Fran. He's not a 1 in Washington. He's a 2.
He's a gadget guy.
Okay, he's a gadget guy at 2.
He is a 2. He's a better 2. I agree, but I'm still curious to see how
you're going to look at Debo and go, that guy's going to be your focal point of your offense. That's a shit move. But if you put that guy down and you move him around in the slot, which he's going to be playing against safeties.
Wait a second, though. Can I ask you something? Do you think he works with a quarterback like Jayden? You got to thrive with a quarterback like Purdy, who is a system quarterback who gets the ball out in 2 seconds. Jayden's a playmaker.
Well, let me here. Okay. A guy like Purdy is in the pocket in one spot. A guy like Daniels moves around in the pocket.
Right.
He moves around. If that's your take, that's got to get on the same page because remember, Purdy's a drop back guy. He's a 7-step guy. He's going to know, you're going to know he's not moving around in the pocket. Daniels moves around in the pocket, right?
Yeah.
Debo moves around. What does that mean, Xander? That creates more space.
Hopefully he doesn't get too tired.
Hey, he does look like he's had a couple LBs.
No, I think he honed it in. I think he's back in better shape now.
How are you feeling about your defense right now?
Like they're going to be a top 5 defense in the NFL.
Okay.
Linebacker.
You haven't figured out safety, nickel, or corner yet. You still believe that?
Those are the big things, but I think the move yesterday shows you that they might be a little higher on the defensive tackles than we thought. Moro Jomo. By the way, did you hear my debate with John yesterday on Moro Jomo?
Tell me no, please.
Oh my goodness, Johnny Mac was just going.
Does he not like him?
Not well, he likes him, but man, you and J-Mac are both on like the Milton Williams to the Hall of Fame tour. It's like unbelievable.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Certain guy, you just got through saying Milton Williams is a system end. You just said it.
Okay.
He's a system end. He's not a guy you can plug and place anywhere. He's a system defensive end.
Well,
and he fits that system where he gave you over 1,000 snaps in versatile fronts.
This is my question.
I know.
I'm not trying to downplay Milton. Like I feel like because John was kept saying, I'm like, John, I'm not that like Milton was a great player. I appreciate what he did. He was a big part of the reason we won. I'm not denying that one bit or 1%. I agree. He was great last year. Phenomenal. Great season. But I don't look at him and say, holy shit, he can't be replaced. I mean, John was talking about the guy like he had a bigger impact than Carter last year. He's like, he was the #1 pass rushing interior lineman in the NFL. And I'm like, and Moro Ojomo was number 6. Like, I don't think it's crazy to say Moro Ojomo in a bigger role with another year of development playing next to Jalen Carter has a chance to be as impactful as Milton was last year.
I mean, I'm not saying you, but certain people in here are making it sound like I said that Milton Williams is a top 5 D lineman. I never fucking ever said that. I have never said that. I said this. He was a major part of the #1 defensive football team in pro football that fit what they wanted to do. He could play in a 34, 43, 50 front, line him out in a wide 9. You could do so many different things with him. His value is not in his numbers. His value is in not having situational replacements, which means, again, Xander, you don't ever have to take him off the field. Do you know what a key that is?
So are you saying people might have been confused by the trolling tone you may or may not have brought to the show one day? Don't tell me you can't understand why people might misinterpret you sometimes.
That I tell you that he probably will be cut in 18 months. Did I not say that?
How many times did you also say this summer? Who the fuck is replacing these guys? You lost 5 stars.
I'm with John. I'm with John. I don't think he's replacing him. I think you're replacing him with what Vic said. Vic said it wait a minute. Vic said it in the presser. It's going to be by committee.
Another thing you and John won't admit, Moro Ojomo is way further along after 2 years than Milton was after 2 years. He was a 7th-round draft pick. The guy played a huge sample size in his 2nd year on the team and was highly productive. I didn't say he was better. I said he was further along at this point in his career than Milton was.
Okay, well, we'll see if he can hold up for 1,000 reps. I guarantee he won't.
He played like 250 less reps last year than Milton.
Okay, I guarantee you he will not hold up.
We'll see.
That's Vic saying.
He hasn't even been hurt.
Vic said it's going to be by committee.
Well, we'll see.
Vic said that.
We'll see.
Okay, so you're questioning Vic now. Now you're telling him to shut the fuck down, and now you're questioning him.
Today will be the day that everybody dubs me the Vic Fangio hater, and I am not a Vic Fangio hater.
He told him to sit the fuck down, and he's questioning his comments.
Well, no, I'm actually telling you to sit the fuck down because the amount of times I've heard you say, what does Sirianni do? And then the guy does something, and now you want the coordinator to make the call.
No, I don't disagree with this. You guys got a track record. You told Vic to sit the fuck down. I'll tell you who's playing Thursday. So that notion that Vic picks players and picks the guys to play is completely dead now.
Yeah, well, I don't want to look like the Denver Broncos of 2020 or whenever Vic was the head coach of that team. So, Vic, you keep managing the defense. Howie, you keep managing the personnel, and Eagles fans be happy everywhere.
Look at this guy. He's taking the whip out to fucking poor Vic.
No, I'm not. I'm explaining the point of that Vic, while great, is not indestructible and should not have free reign on the entire team. You don't let everybody have a full say on the full thing. There's a hierarchy. There's a plan in place. There is an order of operations that must take place, and there is a dividing of tasks and things that must be accomplished. Vic, you don't decide who plays in the preseason.
Whoa. Hey,
nor do you decide the personnel.
Hey, Vic, by the way, here's Dr. fucking Jakorian fucking Bennett for you to fucking have now. Do you know who he is? No. Well, don't worry about it. That's fucking brilliant. I like it. Who's Dory Jackson? Never heard of him. Oh, yeah, that guy in New York? Holy shit.
Nah,
hey, what about CJ?
Last time we gave Vic somebody that nobody knew and hadn't done a whole lot. He turned him into a first-team All-Pro line. I guarantee you, if Vic Fangio was in charge of personnel, Zach Ball wouldn't have been on our football team last year.
Boy, it sure sounded about a Dory Jackson. Who the fuck is that?
The Dory's a little different because he's older.
How about this, though? CJ, here's this one. Yeah, I don't know. That was a cap move on Howie. I don't know. He did that. We're moving on now. I'll be like, hey, this guy. I'm just fucking. This is such a great team to cover.
I know it is.
There's so much good shit with this football.
I love the Philadelphia Eagles. They're a dominant football team. They're a dominant franchise, and they got a great. But how about their quarterback?
Who? Hey, how's that wide receiver? Is he still banged up?
Which one? AJ?
Yeah, he's still banged up.
Oh, he's a little banged up. He's got that hammy, that soft tissue hammy lingering.
A soft tissue.
You never know with those soft tissue injuries how they're going to hold up.
Yeah, man, I'm just curious there. So, right guard, man. How you feeling about your boy Tyler Steen when your boy Matt Pryor's not playing well? And that guy, what's his name? Kenyon Green. He's throwing up on the sideline like he's Donovan McNabb. Holy shit, man. I mean, you concerned about that or no?
Wait a second. You must not have heard the latest interview from your boy, the greatness of Josh Allen, talking. He pukes before every game.
Okay. Then he wins MVP.
Look at how Sileo changes who he cares about it with. It's so funny. Oh,
well, wait a minute. Josh Allen throwing up and winning MVPs and Kenyon Green throwing up.
Oh, now MVPs. Wait, and now MVPs are more important than the big one?
No, I think winning a regular season MVP, going to have to play 7 straight months of good football, I think that's quite a talent.
That is quite a talent.
I mean, there's a lot of great players in the league, including your boy.
A parade down the streets of Buffalo.
Hey, including your boy. He's in that conversation too. He's
The funniest part about Jalen Hurts is this. He could throw for 2,500 yards every single year for the rest of his career. And if he continues to win at this rate, everybody, and I mean Big Sileo to Chris Sims to every schmuck on the internet that's ever talked shit about him, every knee will bend. Everyone. And they will admit he is a Hall of Fame quarterback. All right? That is their trajectory that Jalen Hurts is on.
Oh, no. He'll never be higher, in my opinion, than Troy Aikman.
Oh, we'll see.
Okay, well, he's got 2 more to win.
We'll see.
Okay, you're right. Well, wait, is that wrong? Wait a minute. Is that bad being compared to a guy who won 3 Super Bowls?
I didn't say it was bad. I said we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
You're insinuating? Are you making assumptions? I said
we'll
see.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
All right.
To me, this is where I think Jalen is trending towards. Russell Wilson.
Way better. Don't even fuck.
Well, he has. Not in the first 5 years, he hasn't been.
Well, Russell Wilson fell off a cliff like the Grand
So
Canyon.
your boy's not going to, though.
No,
Russell Wilson in the first 5 years.
I'm not going to project that. Russell Wilson's career is done and dusted, and already we know how it unfolded.
No, I went his first 5 like Hurts starting. He had more wins. He had 2 NFC titles in the Super Bowl himself. Jalen did get the MVP, but he had more wins. Russell Wilson, he was 30 touchdown passes, all of that. Great defense, had Marshawn Lynch. And Jesus, what happened after Marshawn left? What happens after Barkley? Hey, that's a great topic. So what happens after Barkley leaves?
Oh, my God. I'm not even entertaining that bullshit right now.
What happens with
Barkley?
Barkley?
Wait a second. He went to the Super Bowl before Barkley showed up.
Yeah, what happens when Barkley leaves and lost?
The odds would say, he'll probably get back to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you think he gets better when Barkley leaves?
I think he's getting better as a quarterback, and other pieces will change around him, and he will continue to grow and elevate and set the culture in the locker room. And he will be asked to be a different
last year. How did he get better
what
last year?
What do you mean, man?
Kellen Moore didn't make him a better player last year.
You think McNabb would have been able to handle Saquon's spotlight last year?
Oh, you're talking mind game. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think Donovan.
It was a rare breed, Phils, mentally.
I don't think Donovan could have handled Barkley and AJ on the same team. I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't think a lot of quarterbacks in the league today
Bro,
can handle Barkley.
Donovan McNabb could barely handle somebody better than Todd Stinkston. Seriously. Seriously.
Todd Stinkston.
That's McNabb. All right. I liked McNabb. I wasn't even a McNabb hater, but I'm just saying. Jalen, I do not like when people quantify everything about a quarterback by what they show up in the stat sheet. There's more to it than that.
No, I got it. Again, there's more to it. You're right. There's more to a quarterback than just looking at stats. There's a roster. There's good coaching.
I knew he was going to do shit.
Well, no, there is. You're right. I'm glad you say that.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
No. You're right.
I can't wait for the day.
You see, when you're a first-round pick and you're a really great talent coming out, you go to shitty teams for a reason. You know, when you're a second-rounder, you go to better teams because you get in better environments. Facts.
No, not way. So now Tyler Shuck, because he went in the second round, is going to be as good as Jalen Hurts?
No.
All right. So that was a shitty example.
Oh, really? Well, if he was so good, he would have went in the first round.
Oh, yeah. You sound like the scouts who still got their panties in a bind that he's better than all the fucking dudes they picked in front of him.
He's improved as a pro, just like Allen has.
All those scouts were wrong. If all the scouts were always right, if they were always right all the time, then how's Tom Brady go? How's the greatest quarterback to ever grace this planet go in the sixth round?
Because the quarterback position is the most difficult to evaluate. There's a reason why there's more failures.
Right, so you're contradicting yourself a little bit.
How's that?
Because you said the scouts didn't rank them in the first round. Why is that? Well, you've just said it's a hard thing to evaluate, and they've been wrong.
It's a hard thing to evaluate. It is. I'm just telling you that when he came out of college, they didn't think very highly of him. By the way, your entire city didn't. A lot of people didn't like that pick.
But there's more context to that.
Really, tell me. You just gave a guy.
I'll tell you the context.
Wait a second. You know what the context is, folks? Here, I'll give you the context. You just gave a guy $33 million in that offseason. Yeah, help me out on the context.
Well, that's the context. You have fans who are like, what the fuck? We just paid a quarterback a max contract deal. Why using a second rounder? So you give fans who are, by their nature, emotionally driven. All right, it's a fanatic. That's literally what fan means. And then you have to quantify, why do we like this player, or do we think highly of this player? That's an emotional clusterfuck. You pay a quarterback, and then you draft a quarterback, and now you have to try and talk yourself into believing that was a good pick. Once Jalen Hurts showed a shred of anything, the city got behind him. The city got behind him. And to his credit, and this is not unique to him, this is every player in the league, you have to prove it, and you have to earn it in this league. That goes for first overall picks and 54th overall picks, or whatever Hurts was, 53. You got to prove it, and he did it. So he gets credit for that.
He does.
I don't think you can hold that against the fan base. The fan base didn't believe. The fan base was being put in a blender. They paid the highest contract they've ever paid in history, and then drafted a quarterback. It was like, what a mindfuck.
Holding anything against anybody. That's how it played out. That's the history of the story of Hurts.
Yeah.
That's not holding anything.
Champion Hurts.
That's not holding anything against him. That's how the story played out. He was fired by a coach. He had to transfer and leave his one love to go play somewhere else. He went to Philadelphia.
He got a real way with words. I'll tell you what, man.
Oh, wait, that's what happened. His first true love, he got fired, nationally embarrassed. Then he goes to Oklahoma, and he goes and plays there with Cal Katera, and those guys get to the semis where they get destroyed by Burrow.
You ready?
Then he comes to Philadelphia, and guess what? There he is, Mr. Overachiever, one of the greatest overachievers of all time.
I didn't walk through all the fire just to smell the smoke.
Look at that. Unbelievable.
Well, listen, there is a level of respect that I have as a man for a man that can go through the level of shit and be able to use it to forge you and create you into a man that is more unshakable, better in his job, better at his career, better as a leader, and do everything you got to do. Sills, I'm speaking seriously. I think that's admirable. I like stories of successful people. I want to be a successful person. I work my butt off to try and find success and achieve success. When you see somebody go through that shit, I believe that takes a special person to be able to persevere and grow and improve from that. So all those things definitely happen, no doubt about it. But I don't think he's the man he is today or the quarterback he is today without some of those things happening. And I would bet to you that Jalen, if given the opportunity, wouldn't change a single thing with the way it unfolded, because it's led him to where he is right now, which is a Super Bowl MVP and really on a tremendous trajectory as a quarterback in the league. And he's paid, he's married, everything's working in his personal life, his professional life. Everything is lining up for the guy. So he's clearly doing things right. I mean, he's had an impressive career to this point.
So what makes his career, in your opinion, do you think Carson Wentz was projecting into a great position in 2017 when he won the MVP award and that team went on to win the Super Bowl? Do you think he was on a high projection?
He certainly was. Yeah.
Okay. And look, how fast did that thing turn around? 18 months later, he was being villainized by the Eagle fans.
Yep, that's about right. Yep.
Okay. And
now there was a little bit of a build up there. There was the knee injury. So a very
Seattle game.
You know, that speaking of mind fucks, having an MVP quarterback for the first time in Philly, maybe ever, you know, or in a long time, and he gets hurt, and then you go and win a Super Bowl, something your team has never done, with a backup. Like you're already flipping people around mentally about what to think about the player. That messed with Wentz, obviously mentally. He didn't have the mental capacity or bandwidth to be able to use that and forge that. Now, hey, I hope that Wentz does, similar to Jalen Hurts, become a better man, a better player, a better person, a better father, a better husband, a better everything in life because of what he went through. He wasn't able to do it as quick as Jalen was able to do it. That's a fair, objective take on it. But, you know, Wentz had to go through that, and he wasn't able to manage it as well as Hurts was. Meanwhile, Hurts went through a whole lot of shit, and it only made him better. And he welcomed the competition, and he welcomed the battle, and he welcomed the talks to trade for Deshaun Watson, and he didn't shy away from any of those moments. And, you know, he's had a damn good career since then.
How about this? Let me throw this at you here. So since 2021 to 2024, it's been a ton of winning in Philly, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, how long do you think this continues? Do you think this is a Patriot 20-year run? Do you think this is a 10-year run? Do you think that this will be a 6-year run? You've never had a run before at being successful in the franchise's history, at least in the Super Bowl era.
How long do you think it's been going on right now? Would you go like since 18, or are you saying?
I'm going to use Hurts. Hurts' era.
Agreed.
Okay, now for me, how long have you guys been winning? Even with that shitty 4-win season that you had? Since 2017, I think the Eagles have been probably the third best franchise next to the Patriots and next to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I think that's
obviously you've moved ahead in recently from the Patriots, but the Chiefs have been to 3 straight, Xander. I mean, you can't get around the fact
I'm not
they're number one right now. Now, if the Eagles win another one, then we're in a different conversation with who's the better franchise right now. But those 3 franchises have dominated. But I'm going with the Hurts time here. From 21 to 24 right now. 25, we'll see what happens. They should be right there. Okay? How long do you think this goes on?
I think you got...
Because Barkley's getting older.
I think you got another 5 to 8 years would be super optimistic. Because you got to remember that
9 total. That's not terrible.
No, that's not terrible at all. And you got to remember, like, I think it could be longer. There's a chance it's longer, but it will depend on how Hurts develops, because he is a player that plays the position in a physical way where in history, it hasn't bode well, deep into your 30s to play the game like he plays. The only quarterbacks who really succeeded at a super high level late into their 30s have been guys who are pocket throwers, Aaron Rodgers types, Tom Brady types, the guys who
threat guys get beat up.
Exactly, and deliver. Now, I'll make a crazy statement. Like, there's more of a chance a guy like a Baker Mayfield plays until he's 40 than a guy like Hurts, because Hurts relies on athleticism and skill set and those things which can be taken from you, which can go at any time. And now I think he showed great strides as a passer from the pocket. Is he the top in the league at it? No, he's not. But I think he showed great strides. I think last year, even from week 1 to the Super Bowl, was a massive difference in the way he read the line of scrimmage and analyzed the play, pre-snap reading. I thought he was way better at it in the Super Bowl than he was in week 1. If he can continue to build on that and evolve who he is as a player and continue to, as we've called him, be a chameleon, then I think he can extend that window. But I think realistically right now, you have at least a good 5 years left. A good 5-year window.
I don't think that's a shitty take. I think you're talking 9-10 years.
Yeah.
Total, right?
With the potential to be longer, but there's a lot of things that have to happen for that. Let's see how that unfolds.
The
roster turnover. I mean, you're going to have a whole new looking defense in 5 years. You're probably going to have a whole new looking offense in 5 years.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my true assessment on Jalen, on how I see him compared to the other quarterbacks. Okay, and then you tell me how this looks. Arm strength compared to the rest of the quarterbacks. I don't think he's the best. I surely don't think he's the worst. Where would I put him? I would put him right in the middle. If we're going to use 10 as the top, I'd put him at 5 as one of the better arms in the game. I'm not talking about accuracy yet. He's got one of the better arms. Accuracy, he's around 67, 68%, right? He's right in there in the top.
He's been better with that, by the way.
He is.
It's a lesser size, but he has been better when he's throwing the ball.
His numbers are 64. He's not a 64 guy. He's like 68, 69.
Yeah, and he's made some really impressive throws in those wins. It's not just all. I mean, he's had some throws that have been really tight windows that I think he showed some things that you didn't see. Alabama Jalen Hurts, for those who've been watching him for that long, and I have. All right, he didn't make those throws, so he's improved a lot in that regard.
No. Watch me when I go here. It's running ability. I think he's the second best running quarterback in pro football. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so he's 2 there. Okay, smarts. I put him right there. Is there a smarter quarterback in the NFL than Jalen Hurts?
When you say smarter, you mean what?
Football IQ.
I think he's in the top 5.
It
depends, because you could make the argument, well, he hasn't been given the pre-snap reading. Like, he hasn't had that on his plate for the last 5 years.
I'm not going there. I'm going like this. Hey, we need to run the ball more.
Right. You're going more macro football intelligence. Yeah. Well, then I think
best for the team to get the win.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're bringing up good names here, though. Spiko brings up a good one. Stafford, he's probably top here. Rico brings up Mahomes. He's probably top of this list. Will Burrow is probably top football IQ type of guy.
I'll show you where I'm going here with all this. Okay. Smarts, I'm going to put him 2. Okay. So Jalen doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's in the top 5. He is probably the second best runner. He's probably the second best and smartest guy. Okay, in the pocket, he's probably somewhere in the top 10. He's not great at anything. You know what he is, though? He's a top 5 player.
I'd say he's probably 15 in the pocket, not 10.
Okay.
That is the one thing that he struggles with a little bit.
Do you get what I'm saying? Now watch this.
Yeah, I do.
Joe Burrow, smart. Joe Burrow, great arm. Joe Burrow, accuracy. Joe Burrow, running, nowhere. Okay? He's one of the worst in the league. Staying healthy, one of the worst in the league at staying healthy. This guy's like Joe Namath of today.
Right.
So my point is that Hurts doesn't do anything individually, not counting the team around you. Okay? But he's in the top 5. That's how I see him, Xander. I don't see him out of I think he's exceptionally smart. I think he sees the game better.
I think he's number 1 in intangibles too.
Which are to you what?
Wait, I mean, it's partly the smarts, but it's the mindset, the mentality, the approach to the game, the death of the ego as a quarterback to be
Ego.
able to allow other players to thrive, to be able to put yourself in a position where I don't care what it looks like for me. I just want that scoreboard to read the Eagles up front. A lot of quarterbacks, people think that's a big thing. A
It
lot of
is.
quarterbacks believe me, would rather throw for 403 touchdowns and get talked about on SportsCenter and lose the game and not win the ring than be Jalen Hurts and have slander. Oh, he's carried and this and that. That takes a mental fortitude that I don't think many people possess.
How many wide receivers do you think have that mentality in today's NFL where they'd rather have 14 catches and 150 yards than to win? I'd say that's 90%.
Minimum 90%.
Exactly.
Probably 95, dude.
Absolutely.
Brown, by the way, AJ Brown was like that until he got here. He's now become a little bit more, even more bought in each year, which I'm not knocking AJ Brown for. Again, that's every receiver. That's the nature of what made them an NFL receiver in the first place. Give me the fucking ball because I'm going to dominate with it. That's a good mindset to have. But again, it's a team game, and you got to be willing to see, what's the best scenario for a team in a given situation. It's not always you getting the ball.
I got AJ Brown on this team for 2 more years.
Oh, I got him a little longer than that, actually. I think he's established. I think you were right a year ago. And I think AJ has played his way into a spot where the Eagles view him as a little bit more indispensable than they did maybe a year or two ago, where you're probably right. When they paid him the money, they were probably thinking, 30, 31 years old. That's probably when we'll move off of him. It's a couple years from now. I think he's played himself into a little bit of a different light here in Philly, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was kept around a little bit longer than that. I'm not saying 10 years, but I think 4 or 5 years he could be here realistically.
Into his mid-30s?
32.
Okay.
Like a Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know how old Larry. Now Larry played a little longer. I don't know how old Larry played, but
So are you starting to think he's going to retire an Eagle?
I originally thought there was no chance. I now do not think there's no chance. I still will admit it's not.
I think he's going to retire in New England.
That's possible. I don't think it's likely, but I think AJ could play here in Philly till 32 years old. I don't think that's that crazy.
He's a fucking great player. How many more years for Barkley?
3.
3.
A lot, I know. That's lofty.
That puts him at 30.
Probably 2. I don't know though. I mean, if he has another great year this year, you think they're going to move on from him after that year? That's why I kind of defaulted to 3. I feel like 3 is the right number.
How about this, Andrew? The only way that he's not on this football team is if he has a catastrophic knee injury. Like, I think they want 3 more years out of him. Don't you think, until they can find that next guy?
Right.
I mean, that's my take on it. Okay. All right. Let's get to these supers, brother.
Let's do it. Did you see the Browns are starting Shador in their preseason game on Thursday?
And they just signed Tyler Huntley.
I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, 5 quarterbacks.
I don't want Shador to win that job. General JD says, you see all this in Hurts. What happened to Caboose?
No, I
think we're winning him over a little, JD.
No, General. I mean, he was the caboose last year all through the season. I'm not moving off that. Troy Aikman was a fucking caboose.
I don't think Hurts was the caboose, though. I think caboose insinuates a little bit. I'm not disagreeing with your point of that. Last year, the offense obviously didn't have to run through the success of the quarterback to be successful. You're not wrong about that. You're right. And it didn't, Buffalo, if their quarterback doesn't have a good game, they're fucked. Same with Kansas City. Same with the Bengals. Same with some of these other teams. Same with really even kind of the Ravens. I mean, this team is built better in that sense. But to say he's a caboose insinuates to me that you'd be able to do it with anybody. And that's where I vehemently disagree. I don't think you have the success you've had with Hurts with other quarterbacks.
Because of his running ability.
The mentality, everything we talked about, all the intangibles he brings to the game. I think the way he's helped the locker room. I mean, how good does that
They barely leaned on it.
What's A.J. Brown's mentality like right now, though, if Jalen Hurts isn't the quarterback of the team?
I'm sorry?
What would A.J. Brown's mentality be right now in this team if Jalen Hurts isn't the quarterback? Like, I think it's little things like that.
I think if they hadn't won, his attitude would have been completely different than what it is right now. I don't think it's got anything to do with the quarterback.
Well,
I think he's talking himself into the fact that they're winning and I've got to be a better teammate.
Yeah, but Hurts is one of the reasons they're winning.
Okay, well, the way he talks sounds like to me, I got to be a better teammate. That's what I heard from him. So, I mean, I don't know. AJ's got to work. AJ's working on, I got to give up my numbers sometimes for our team's success. And that's a personal thing that he's battling. He said it.
Yeah, right. General again says Sills also guaranteed we'd never pay AJ and Smitty, and Hurts would never win the Super Bowl. So take his guarantees with a grain of salt.
Well, here's a guarantee. That dude will never throw for $4,000.
Oh, he's doing it for this year. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's only
4 years in now.
How glorious is it going to be when Hurts throws for $4,000 and wins the Super Bowl all in 1 year? Sileo will legitimately not know what to do. What will you do if he does that?
Never happen.
All right. You can't answer my question saying it'll never happen. What would you do if he did that?
I know it won't. I can't answer it because I know it's not.
All right. What would you do if he did?
Your defense is going to be 15th this year.
Abe, no, they're not. They're going to be top 5. Abe says, get Allen a Pepto-Bismol sponsorship. Soft tummy. Yeah, he does. Soft tummy for sure.
Get the Caboose a paint job. He needs some more red on it.
Oh, bullshit. Abe says, is Nick the middleman for Vic and Howie?
Ooh. It's Nick the middleman. I basically heard Xander's boy Nick say this. Hey, we make the decisions on who fucking plays. Hey, Vic, go sit down.
Yeah, Vic.
That's what Xander's telling you.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, Vic, go sit the fuck down. You're a horrible head coach. We love you as our DC, but don't go off your rails. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and you weren't great in town, and you weren't great in talent evaluation when you had that role either. So
he did get Patrick Surtain up there.
Okay, good. You got 1 player out of 42. Congratulations. 50.
I'll tell you this, Xavier Howard and what's his name? Jalen Ramsey didn't like him too much.
Well, that's for different reasons. I don't agree with those guys. The Phillies ace. What's up, Ace? He says, Sills, they took torch to the defense and are relying on the linebacker position, which is Vic's strength. That was critical last season besides the running game. Ace, you're not buying into Sileo's bullshit, are you?
Of course he is bullshit. It's fact. By the way, I'll tell you what, man. Do you agree that's the best room in the defense right now is the linebacker room? Inside of 1 year, that guy made that linebacker room dog shit into that. Do you agree? Is there a better room? Is there a better room on defense?
Actually, there our guy earlier, who was it? Tony the Siberian, I think it was. That's probably the biggest thing he could have said about when I asked what's Vic done to change the culture. He's changed the linebacker culture.
And they drafted a guy one.
Yeah. And Jahad Campbell might have been a Vic guy. General says, literally sitting there praying for the Eagles to fail. No, I don't think Sills is doing that.
No way. Were you kidding me? Who wants to cover the Jets?
Well, no, I think what people don't understand is you're actually a little bit more simple than that. I think you just want whatever for your show. That's it. That's right. You don't give a fuck. You just want whatever for the show.
Yeah. I'm a content guy.
Which is fine by me. Rico Mart says, 5-month member. Thank you, bro. Can you get Baldy on the show? Interesting. We actually just talked about that.
Is Xander Xander's going to send me, by the way, that's what we should have on. We should have, like, you guys give us suggestions because if I don't, do you know what Xander did? Xander goes like this. Why don't we get Herman? So I go, damn, that's probably right. So we're getting Herman tomorrow, 4:30.
I just love Herm. I love listening to him talk football.
Yeah, so we're going to
get a great energy. You know, he's got a great energy about him. You know who you got to bring on a little more consistently too?
Who, Joy?
Well, she'd be great, but I wasn't going there. I was actually going to go Mike North.
He's on Friday.
He was fucking awesome, dude. And I don't think he'd be a guy that would only talk about Chicago. I think he would give if you told him, hey, you want to do a weekly segment here or what? I don't know if weekly would be a thing, man, monthly or whatever. I think he would open up and he's got. I don't even think that it's all about Jalen. It's going to sound like it's all about Jalen, but I did love the way he explained how the evaluation of players has changed in this league.
Yeah.
You know, and he was very simple with it. He was like, Hurts wins. Like that's why the game is played. You know, Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback in the regular season. You know, and his take was almost so simple. It reminded me of, I think we maybe have gone a little bit too, hey, the more we add, sometimes you get so big and you dilute things a little too much. Sometimes things are more simple than that. Yo, what fucking guy shows up and you need him to show up and wins the games you need him to win? Like if you judge based on that, it's Mahomes and Hurts and everybody else.
Jesus Christ. I need a vomit bag. I'm about ready to lose my fucking cookies.
Why? You know I'm right.
Jesus Christ. Hey, Leon, will you stop? You need to get Ian traded in.
Leon.
Dude, you really, by the way, because you like that guy and everyone liked Mike North. Okay. I have to, I got him on Friday. Go ahead, man. Got any more?
Look at this. Twizzler says Ed Reed blocks Hills' number. Might be true. You don't get along with everybody. That's part of life, Twiz. What do you get along with everybody you fucking meet in life, Twiz?
No, there's only one guy that I don't get along with.
I know.
Warren Sapp.
Yeah, Warren Sapp. That's right.
He's the only motherfucker I don't get along with. You know what I told him one time?
You still want to talk to him, don't you?
It's crazy. He'll wake up one night and have this, like, I think he's bipolar. He calls me and he goes, hey, so then the next day he's a cocksucker.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole.
And get this, I told him this, and you know what? I don't really talk like this. My aunt watches. You know what I told him one night? My wife's listening. I said, I'll tell you what, I don't really like being this guy any longer. I'll meet you on any goddamn beach you want to meet. Yeah. And I go like this, and I will beat the fucking shit out of you right in front of your friends. And he goes, listen, I'm not looking to go down that lane. I go, you're damn right you're not. You know who I am and what I'm capable of doing. And I hate being that guy. I do. I'm a nice pacifist now. I'm a Corona drinker. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, that shit makes you soft. I think it's making you soft in your football.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I'm not soft.
I've been taking you to the woodshed too much. I'm looking for a little bit of resistance.
Yeah, that's where you're with your.
I get more resistance from John McMullen than I do from you.
Oh, because John fucking cries when you fucking question his ability. If you say anything, John starts fucking moaning. Xander's got to put a binky in. I'm like,
oh my gosh, you should have heard McMullen last night. He was so mad at me for thinking Morrow Jomo is going to be a great player. You idiots, Milton Williams. I'm like, dude, Milton Williams ain't going to the fucking Hall of Fame. Take a breath.
I think Morrow's got a shot to be a really good ball player, man.
He got a great shot. A great shot. Let's keep rolling here. I think we got one more.
Hey, what about Jalen Hurts getting demoted?
I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet.
Or do you think Vic's moving him around like he did the other day and he said that shit?
Probably moving him around, but I do think we probably all got maybe a little too high on Jalen too early. I think long-term Jalen's going to be a great player, but it might take a little bit. I mean, he was a third round, a little bit more of a developmental player. Now you're going to ask him in the NFL to play, full sample size. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Look at that. Look at this dickhead. The fucking guy flexing on top of a gosh damn desert animal comes in here. Watch your mouth. Yo, Campbell Keith, sit down and shut the fuck up, Campbell.
This guy's on a camel telling us to watch our mouths. Come on, bro.
NJ says, you got to get NJ Fishing Maniac on the show. What's the matter with you, eh?
Hey, dude, I appreciate you more than you know. You've been here since day one.
He has, man. He's been.
You know what? You've been awesome, man. I mean,
this asshole. Yo, NJ, where's my NJ Fishing sweatshirt? I was supposed to wear it on the show. You reached out. You wanted to send me one. Thing never showed up. What is it in the mail? Did the post office lose it, NJ? Come on, man. Although I got to replace yours because he had a little bit of stitching problem when I sent him one, but all good.
Xander, how you feeling, man? I mean, look, you're ready to rock, man. I mean, you still in that mode of repeating?
Look at Keys. Z bought the vet and turned into a narcissist. What is that, NJ? Keys, where'd you read that word on Twitter? Is that the buzzword on Twitter right now that everybody's a narcissist if they don't agree with you? Come on.
We's crazy. You think if a guy buys a vet, that turns him into a narcissist?
I don't know what he's saying. I don't know. I've been hard on Keys the last couple of weeks. I think he's just a little bit down in the dumps because of
that. Because why? You've been riding his ass?
I've been beating him up. I've been beating up on him a little bit.
How come you won't answer that question? 4,500 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, or
wait, you said 32. What? You're up to 45?
4,200 passing yards, 30 touchdowns versus 18.
I told you they're winning the damn Super Bowl if that happens.
No. You get one or the other. So if Hurts goes for 4,200 yards, 18 and 30 touchdowns, they're winning the Super Bowl in your opinion. I say they win 9 games if they do that.
Oh, yeah, okay. 9 games. Yep, you heard it here first, everybody.
To me, the less you threw the ball, the more you won.
The Eagles are a 9-win team, everybody.
If you throw the ball like that, that means someone got hurt. Yeah.
They'll finish 3rd in the NFC East. Yep.
Dude, what?
You don't even believe that bullshit.
Yes, I do, because last year you threw for less than $3,000 and dominated. If you throw for more yards this year, that meant someone got hurt. And Hurts will have to do something he's not good at. High volume passing.
Oh, man.
A lot of turnovers.
Here's NJ again. Black or red shirt and what size? I'll email you. Send me the address, Xander. All right, NJ, I'll email you.
Here's my take this year. 34-25. 23 touchdowns. 11 picks. 650 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns. 34-25, 23, 11 picks, 650 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns. There you go. That's 30. That's 31 total touchdowns.
Numbers can be whatever they are. I don't care about the numbers. If Hurts doesn't care about the numbers, why should I?
That's right. That's right, man. I know. When you're the caboose, you don't have to worry about numbers. When you're the engine, you got to worry about gasoline.
I don't think you really believe.
You got to worry about miles.
I don't think you really believe he's the caboose in the sense that you're in the way you're using that word. I really don't. I mean, I don't think you actually think that Jalen Hurts is replaced by a traffic cone and they have the same level of success.
I'm talking about the Saquon train. I'm not talking about any train.
But how do you account them for the success that he had pre-Saquon?
Okay. I mean, how do you account for Brock Purdy's success then? The team.
Well, what do you mean?
Okay. Well, he was on a good football team at 22 too.
Yeah, but Brock Purdy doesn't have the benefit of what Hurts has where he went before and after.
No. We were talking about when he went in 22. I'm comparing that to what Purdy did too, and what.
Yeah, but when you get back,
okay, well, that's a different conversation. Okay,
but that changes the dynamic of the conversation.
Well, wasn't relied on last year like he was in 22. He was nowhere near relied on.
When they needed to rely on them,
Hurts had to be great every week in 22.
So when they needed to rely on him though in 22, he had success, and then they didn't need it in 24. So he basically just proved he'll win either way.
And choosing moments when that season was on the back of Saquon Barkley the entire regular season, and much of the postseason.
I didn't deny that.
Okay, right. There were moments that Hurts had that were excellent.
I don't think Saquon would have done that though.
He had moments. He didn't have. Moments.
I don't think Saquon would have been able to do that with a different quarterback though.
Probably not, because Hurts is efficient in the run game. Like could a pocket quarterback have come in and done what Jalen did? No. And when I say caboose, I'm talking about the Barkley train. You put him on any other train, there's no way he's a caboose. But that thing last year was so dominant. He had 2,700 yards rushing.
He's just not a caboose.
All right.
He's not.
You think Ringo still wins that job? Do you?
Guy walks me through the fucking rainforest about Jalen Hurts and has to end back on Jakorian Bennett. I do. I think Ringo still wins the job.
Oh, wait a minute then. Wait, go back. I'll go back here again. I don't have no problem saying what I say about Jalen Hurts.
What's that?
I think Hurts is a really good ball player, man. I have no problem with it. That football team, again, is on the back of Saquon Barkley. The entire football organization saw it. They did. They changed the entire way they approached the game.
I don't know if I would make that statement.
They did it, though. They came out of the bye saying we're going to – the offensive line guys were saying we're going to throw less. Everybody said that. It wasn't me. It was them. And
yeah, but there's a lot of things that go into that.
And their actions spoke to it. When they stopped throwing the ball, they didn't lose another game.
Look at Maxton. I like this guy because he's got a Polish last name, Szczecinski. I like it. Face it, they did, Xander. Maxton, I love you, brother, but you got to put down these Sileo-wise edibles, man.
Hey,
Apparently, he upped
Max,
the dosage in those
he
things.
doesn't want to face the fact that they're taking that Super Bowl and they're making it seem like he played like that from fucking day one in Green Bay and Brazil.
Maxton, man.
The season, like that fucking wonderful.
Too many milligrams in that Eddie ball.
That wonderful performance against
Too many milligrams in that Eddie ball.
What a performance against the Rams. 65 yards passing. Holy fuck, that
wait, you know what I love, everybody? I love how nobody on the face of the planet heard of net passing yards when you factor in sacks. He had 140 passing yards, and now everyone's like, oh, he had sacks 65 net. I never heard of net passing yards in my fucking life until Hurts has a bad playoff game. It's like a joke, man. It's a complete joke, that whole narrative.
Okay. Hey. Oh, my God. Hey, dude, I didn't know that people are going to be blown up. Here. The Eagles cornerback, Jakorian Bennett, is one of the most underrated cornerbacks.
Who tweeted that?
This ML football guy. He tweeted it to me that this guy's one of the most underrated football players in the NFL. I know. He becomes an Eagle. He's Brian Dawkins. Oh, man. Hey, maybe it is just some of the words I use, like caboose, blowtorch. I think it has maybe a little bit to do with the delivery of things.
Well, listen.
So,
if
I don't know.
Jalen Hurts keeps winning, Keith thinks I'm a narcissist now. I don't know what he's going to think of me when Jalen Hurts has 3 rings, because I'm going to be so.
I have to be careful because I'm not wishing for people to lose. I'm not. I don't do that.
You're an entertainer.
That's right. All I care about. Watching the Little Red Caboose this year.
You're an entertainer that just happens to be wrong about 98% of the
Oh, really? I wasn't wrong in 21, 22, 23. But now all of a sudden, you guys win the Super Bowl.
Wait. How do you constitute whether you were wrong in 22 or 23? Just off one prediction? You made about 480 predictions each year.
Okay, so like in 22, I said you'd be in the Super Bowl in March.
Okay, that's one prediction, though.
Okay. I also said that you would be able to go out and what did I say about Hurts? He'd never throw for $4,000 that year. He didn't. What else did we say there during that 22 season? I did pick the Chiefs to win that Super Bowl. The 23 season, when you guys were 10-1 and you guys were kicking the shit out of me on all shows on JAKIB Sports, Big Sills was going, Pyrite. The Philadelphia Pyrites, I was calling them. Folks, you know what pyrite is? Phony gold. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
Anything else?
Nah, man. I got it all out.
Anything else, big dog?
No. So what are you guys talking about on the show tonight?
Day 10. Did anything good happen?
I think Hurts had a good day today.
Oh, good.
Yep. Jalen had a good day.
Doesn't matter. Just like the bad days don't matter. It's all
the bad days don't matter.
The bad days don't matter. The good days don't matter.
Do you agree, though, Xander? It matters more on defense if the defense has bad days and more so than the offense having bad days. Mm-hmm. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, definitely. But I do think it's got to be graded on a curve a little bit because defenses always seem to win more in camp. It's kind of like, just an easier – it feels like especially early in camp where defenses normally get the better of the offenses. So got to factor that in. But overall, this team's in a good spot. I think even Drakeford believes it. Come on, Drakeford. He's another guy. He's on the triple dose of the Sileo eyes.
Hold on here. So you think they're in a good place when they haven't figured out their safety or corner spot yet?
Well,
August 5th. You got 29 days. Hey, I got it.
Okay, well, last year everybody said we had the worst linebacking core in football until September 5th. So, what the hell? Let's see how it unfolds. Remember, I chirped Vic earlier. I said, hey, you stay in your lane. Well, his lane is managing that. So do your job with what you got. Let's see you get them players ready to rock.
Man, I got to tell you, Nick spoke today, and I got to get to that stuff. So, Big Z.
Somebody just tweeted me. They said, Sills' takes. Wait, here we go. Let me unlock my phone. Sills' predictions are like Taiwan Walker's fastballs.
Well, we'll be dead right. We're so.
Taiwan Walker's.
I'll tell you what, I'm out of the gate here on Ringo very well.
I could say that you're probably right about that right now.
Okay.
But you remember, what was my biggest concern all damn offseason? It was Ringo. So I'm not wrong about him either. We'll see what happens with him.
How about the safety spot, though, with Akuba?
I'm feeling a little bit better about Brown than I was coming into camp, but I don't know about Makuba. Probably not going to start right away. I think if Brown can kind of hone it in a little bit, maybe he could be a player. So maybe I was more wrong about Brown, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, Big Z, we'll be watching right after the program. Appreciate you, man. You guys keep killing it, man. Absolutely. Make sure you talk a lot about the caboose today. I want to hear all I can about Jalen Hurts.
Wait, you got any topics that I can set John off the edge again? Yesterday was more of a Joma.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I got one for you here. There's no doubt that they brought in Jihad Campbell to replace Nakobe, right? would be one of them. Here's another one here, right? Moro Jomo has a better rating.
I can't go with Jomo again. I can't.
You can't go with Jomo? Okay.
I can't. Camel Keese will have a legitimate aneurysm. This guy was in the chat.
I got one for you.
You talked about a Jomo for 50 minutes. Oh, my God.
John, there's no way that Uche or Aziz Ojolari beats out Jalix Hunt. There's no way.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Here's another one, too. Hey, I told fucking on the Sileo show, I told Vic to sit the fuck down. See what he says to that one.
Oh, my gosh. You got to be kidding me.
No, wait, go like this to him and ask him this. Do you think Vic had anything to do with this new guy coming aboard? I don't.
I don't either. It's Howie.
I think that's going to be a problem down the line.
Yeah, but Vic's got to get in line, man. Sorry, bro.
You think that could get him fired?
Sure. Got Doug fired.
That's right. That's exactly where I was going with it. I mean, dude, you put Clint Hurtt in there being the D coordinator and all. I mean, maybe that's going to be the progression there. But Howie's not going to put up with a guy talking shit to him like that. Hey, well, I don't know anything about this guy. Who's this guy? Who's that guy? What's that? Who's this guy showing up now? Hey, by the way, yeah, that's a salary cap fucking thing. Dude, it's coming.
Kyle's on to what I was thinking for tonight. I think Keely Ringo's got to be the theme of tonight. They make a trade at cornerback, now. I think we got to talk about Ringo tonight. I think Ringo's
absolutely. So did they bring him in to compete for the job?
Yeah, I guess so. Or does this prove that Ringo is truly a bingo? Ringo, he's actually Keely Bingo.
I think he needs more time, but they need him to get him playing time. Like, he may be better, Xander, by week 8. Like that, because he had played more. Put him in the Isaiah Rodgers role.
Yeah, we'll see if that might be the role. That's kind of what John speculated maybe he's here for.
No. Put Keely Ringo.
Oh, Ringo in that role.
Rodgers role until you find out if the guy can play as a starter. Yeah, but you're going to start him, and he's never started, and he really couldn't beat on Isaiah last year?
We'll see what happens. All right, I got to run, brother.
We'll catch you tonight right after the program, brother.
Later, big dog. Appreciate it.
You got it, man. Appreciate you guys very much. All right, we got to pay some bills here. Hey, for the record, okay, it's a topic of conversation now. It's a total conversation here. By the way, Dave Lapam is going to join us at 5:30, part of the broadcast team for the Cincinnati Bengals. Angelo had to move his hit to Thursday at 4:30. So we're doing Thursday at 4:30 with him. They haven't figured the corner spot out yet. I mean, Slay and CJ look like an issue. Did they outkick their coverage with this? Is there anybody on that team right now? And does Howie have to make another move? Okay? Yeah. Absolutely, Twiz. Absolutely. All good, man. Let me put it out there for everybody. If you guys didn't love Big Sills, you wouldn't be here every day. I know that. Even guys like M. Reyes, all these guys. Everybody. I get it. We just have a lot of fun. Hey, by the way, I got to tell you guys, I love shit talking. A lot of people can't handle it. Okay? Right, Sue? A lot of folks can't handle that. Absolutely, man. You know how I know everything is dope? You're here every day. You're supporting me every day, Sue. Okay? Sills knows nothing of geology or football. Is geology, do you put that on like whole wheat bread? What is that? Geology or football? He knows nothing. Here, let me fix it up here for Reyes. Let me fix it up there. All those teams we played for. Yeah. 1, 2. There's 2 missing, too. There's a Canadian football and there's a Detroit Lions helmet. Yeah. I got to get my Detroit Lions helmet. Yeah. Okay. M. Reyes, Sills knows nothing about football. Yeah. Looks it. Hey, it looks it, doesn't it? It probably too sports talk, right? I've only been doing it for 40 years. See what we got here. I think people are for sure not used to a talk show host who may have a comeback to some dumb shit said. Hey, right? All right. Yeah, the wheat bread reference got me too. Thank you. Howie will ruin it. No, Howie's not going to ruin it. Let's see here. Here's this guy. Sills paints fences and Daisy Dukes for extra credit. Fucking A. Got me an education. It got me drafted. I could play in the Fiesta Bowl, and I signed a $2 million contract because I did that. Yeah, yes, Steve, you're right. I did. And? No, not you, though, right? Hey, Steve, I'm pretty sure you'd be swallowing something. I'm pretty sure somebody would put that out there, Steve. If can you see Steve? This guy'd be swallowing the caboose. Hey, Sills, it would be cool if you get Kirby Smart or Saban on the show with all these Georgia guys and Bama guys on the team. Okay, so I'll tell you the story, Abe. Okay? Looking forward to catching up at 5:30, Dan. The Bengals have assigned me to another interview assignment at 5:45. Hopefully 15 minutes will suffice. Perfect. Way to go, Big Z. Xander is not only becoming a great talk show host, but the dude makes my show run like a fucking top. Fantastic stuff, Xander. You know how many people I used to pay $70,000 to $100,000 to do that for me and to produce my show? And they could never do it. That's why I had my wife do it, because I didn't want to pay anybody that money. So it's why all the players have to be super. If Ringo does the defense the way it's taught, that should be enough. Not everybody has to be super, but I think you got to be super at particular corner, at particular positions, don't you? I think you got to be great at corner. I think you got to be great at linebacker. I think you have to have a great defensive lineman, whether it's a tackle or end. Those are the premium positions. I think you have to be great at premium positions. Wide receiver, left tackle, quarterback. maybe tight end. I think all those positions that we call premium, you have to be exceptional at. I think the other ones you can be good at. Well, let me put it to you this way, Park. How many exceptional defensive football players did you have on your defense last year that would be in the top 5 players on that defense last year? How many? Let's take a look at that. And this is to your point. When we're talking about a unit, okay? Q, you put him in the top 5 last year? Corners? Sure. Even though he plays zone. Slay? Top 5 corner? Maybe. Slay. Bond? Yeah. Carter? Yeah. That's 4 of the 11. The rest of them were really good ball players. Do you understand what I'm saying to you here? And not one of these guys made first team All-Pro. Except for Bond. You had 1 first team All-Pro. What does that tell you? You had a phenomenal unit. You don't have to have the best players at each and every respected position. Park, you did it a year ago. You know what? Here. Coop was in a top 5 nickel. Okay. Slay wasn't a top 5 corner last year. Okay, DeJean, you had 4 guys. 4 guys out of the 11 starters. Okay? 4. And that one guy was first team All-Pro, but Bond. Big Sills. Why do they criticize Ojomo's size? He's 6'3", just like Milton was. Milton was thicker? No. Here, DC, it's a great question. This is a fabulous question. Again, folks, listen to this. Big Sills, why do they criticize Ojomo's size? He's 6'3". He's as big as Milton Williams. Was Milton a thicker guy? No. Here's the difference. It's a great question. Give me some of your guys' opinions why you think Milton Williams is a better ball player than Moro Ojomo. You tell me. Why do you think Milton could play more than one position? Okay. He could play multiple positions on the D line. Milton had a bull rush. You're in the right room. You're getting closer, Chris. Okay? All right. Getting closer. That's really close. Easy. That is really close. I listen to Moro Ojomo. He sounds like a really smart guy. I don't know. Chris, you're getting around it. All right. I'm going to help you out. Okay. Lane Johnson has played how many years? 14 years? Okay. 14 years. And he's trained his body for 65 plays a game for 17 regular season games. Do you think training your body for each and every single day, training your body for 17 NFL games for 14 or 15 years, is different than a backup in his ability to have impact when he doesn't get reps in practice. He doesn't get reps in a game. He can prepare all he wants for an upcoming season. But as the season comes on, he doesn't get the first team reps. He doesn't get the reps in practice. So your body atrophies. You're not conditioned physically to play 11,000 snaps or 1,100 snaps. You're just not. And still be productive. We saw this with Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff had 438 snaps in New York when he got those 10 sacks. When they upped his volume of plays, his production fell. Why? His body wasn't mature and hadn't been trained to go 17 games, 15 years. All those plays. Moro Ajomo's body. And this is why Vic said that's going to be more by committee. And Xander made this point. He goes, he thinks Moro Ajomo's further along than Milton Williams. I thought Milton played a lot the previous season in 23. Had a high grading by PFF. And he was beginning to get his body into condition for playing and starting, knowing full well that he was eventually going to be the starter on that football team this coming season. And he prepared for that. And they gave him a lot of reps. He played a lot of football. Do me a favor. I wonder if somebody could find me what the amount of reps that Milton Williams played in 2023 compared to, and I don't think he started in 23. And compared it to what he did in 2024 and how many reps. When you start putting together 700-800 reps, 600 to 800 reps, it's why Jordan Davis is not conditioned early in the season to play a lot of reps in a game. Okay? So Milton had 500 reps in 2023. Dro, how many reps did he have? How many snaps did he have in 2024? Give me the number of snaps he had in the regular season in 24. Okay? I'll show you here. Those 500 snaps prepared him in 2023 for the amount of snaps that he would take in 2024. He had a full year of conditioning to be able to get himself ready. Now, I think Moro Ajomo is going to be closer to this is what, okay, I think what Xander said is that, okay, 494 in 23 and 501 in 24. Abe, think about that. Okay? Think about that in snaps. He was prepared to play in 24 because he had the snaps and his body was getting conditioned. How many snaps did Moro Ajomo have in 2024? How many snaps did Ajomo have? And I'll tell you where you'll be this year. Okay, so Milton had 501. That's not counting the postseason. Ajomo had 388. Okay. As you could see, okay, 388, 300. Milton had 500 snaps in 2023. He had 500 snaps again this past year. If you don't think those 200 some odd snaps are important, they are. No. 388 versus 500 is different, dude. Dude, when you start getting above what you do, your production falls. until you start conditioning your body. Now, look, I think he'll probably go for this year, having up from 388. I would say this. If he gives you 450 snaps, and see this here, 750 is an awful lot, not counting postseason play. So I would say this to you. If a Jomo could give you 450 snaps this year, they're going to keep an eye on that. Because remember, that probably keeps him productive in that room. Okay? Once again, this comes back down to conditioning. You got to get your body ready playing and starting versus being a backup. There lies the difference. Your body is not used to it. Okay? Now I'm going to break right now, Xander. Guys, do me a favor. We got Dave Lapam coming up at 5:30. Part of the broadcast team for the Cincinnati Bengals. So we're going to talk a little Bengals football, as that will be the scrimmage, I think tomorrow, that they'll have the organized team scrimmage, and then they will play on Thursday. So we'll talk to Dave Lapin, who's been part of the Bengal organization for a long time. But outside of that, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. Folks, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. And you know what that is? It's because they win. That's right. It's because they win. Thousands of attorneys from coast to coast make sure that defending families is the #1 priority, built by a company that is traditional in family values. That's what Morgan & Morgan is. Guys, I'm telling you, easiest decision you'll ever make if you're ever injured. Contact Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's FORthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Stills, hit that like button, my friends. We are going to talk with Dave Lapam for a little bit, part of the broadcast team, former Bengal himself. And we will talk with him. That will be coming up at the bottom of the hour here. Please hit that like button. Guys, how about this? I'm going to go over a little bit with Nick Sirianni. Who else spoke? Joshua Uche. I actually liked him at the podium. Jalen Hurts also had a little bit of conversation today. So we'll hit on that a little bit, but help me out on something before we get going here. So this Sydney Sweeney thing. Now, this conversation is for like people not like Twiz or M. Reyes. I'm talking to men. 148 likes. Come on, guys. Let's get that number up there. So I'm talking to men. M. Reyes, Twiz, Crowley, you guys, this conversation's not for you. Okay? I want to talk to some men because I'm not getting this Sydney Sweeney thing. Okay, so they're pissed off at her because she looks good in jeans. I'm trying to find out what the holdup here is on this. Okay? I mean, now I'm a gigantic fan of American Eagle jeans. I'm totally a fan of it now. I mean, any chick that could have their ass look like that in those jeans, I'm in. But why are people like at ESPN? Okay, why are they mad at her? Can anybody explain this? ESPN will support a dude with a pickle in his pants playing in women's sports. And I'm not supposed to like a chick who's in really hot jeans? Help me out here. I mean, you're appealing to me with hot women. Why is this a bad thing? So I'm not kidding you. I don't know what's the debate here. Why are they debating this? Okay, hold on here, Senor. I hope he's being real here because I really don't know. It's the symbolism that a company named American Eagle advertised with a white girl with blue eyes advertising good jeans, a.k.a. good jeans. Ah. Okay, I see it now. Genes instead of J. Okay, Jean. Okay, I got it now. Now I got it. Okay, yes, they were race baiting. Or how about this? Not race baiting, they were trolling. White chick in jeans? I don't know. Welcome to America. Thank you, senor. Absolutely, that helped a lot. So they were trolling because they were goofing on dudes with pickles in women's sports. Okay. All right. Twiz and M. Reyes. You guys, my boys, man. Here's Philadelphia. By the way, Dave Lapham's going to join us in a couple minutes. The media is trying hard to get Jalen Hurts to throw the ball more. They know we got a blueprint. They want to have us play pretty ball. But that's not us. That's not how winning's done. I agree. You give it to the freight train and you let the caboose ride along with it. I'm with you, Philadelphia. I completely agree. Barkley! Barkley! Woo! That's the train. I got that, man. You damn right, Philadelphia. You better get on that Barkley A train. Let me get into what Nick had to say. Yeah, hey, thanks, senor. Let's see what my boy says here. Sweeney Simps, Swifty Simps. It's the same coin, just a different side. So what, you don't like Taylor Swift too? I don't give a shit about these women. They look good. They're talented. I like Taylor Swift because she guns beers. Okay, wait. The other chick has a gun. She goes shooting at a gun range. She looks great in jeans. And the other chick guns beers. And I'm supposed to hate that. All right. All right. I've known this next man for a long time. By the way, I met him when he was 19. All right. And let me tell you, I think he's been with the Bengals. Folks, this is going to sound crazy. I think he's been with them for 48, 49 years. I really do. And they're going to have some organized practices with the Eagles. They're going to tee it up and play on Thursday night. And he is our longtime friend, Dave Lapam, who's been part of the Bengal organization for a long time, joins us now here on the program. How you doing, Big Dave? How's it going here, man?
I'm doing fine, doing real well. Yeah, you're right. I've been with the organization coming up on 50 years, 10 years as a player, and this will be the 40th as a broadcaster. So they're unbelievable in terms of the loyalty that they've shown me over the years. That's for sure. To stay with an organization that long, one organization for 50 years in the National Football League is it's quite unique. There's no question about it. And now, mind-blowingly, going in the Ring of Honor coming up in October, Halloween, the Sunday after Halloween.
Are you going in with Boomer?
Boomer's already in. I'm going in. With,
did he go in last year? I thought it was last year, right?
Yeah, I'm going in with Lamar Parrish is who I'm going in with this year. We're the two that are going in, and it's going to be the Sunday after Halloween. So it'll be it'll be an interesting time, that's for sure. A big day for my family. It's the ones that are, I think, the most excited about it, and because it's so unique to them, are my grandchildren. You know, I've got 4 grandchildren, 2 boys, 2 girls, Gabby and Casey and Lucy and Cam, and they're excited. They're thrilled about the fact that their grandfather is going to be going into the Ring of Honor for the Bengals. So, yeah, it's been a long time, that's for sure, in the old Queen City, in the city of Cincinnati, being part of the Bengals organization, and very proud of that, and very proud of the fact that I was able to hang in there with the same organization for 50 years, and that they allowed me to do that. You know, Mike Brown and the Blackburn family and the Cincinnati Bengals organization allowing me to stay with the team for 50 years is quite remarkable.
How about this, Dave? I mean, your family has to, like, all the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs of the organization. I mean, keeping fair and balanced and being entertaining at the same time. I mean, you know, you've got to balance a fine line for you to keep that job, be entertaining with that job, be cool to the fans so the fans know, because we talk to Merrill Reese all the time, who's the legendary voice of the Eagles, and having that balance is kind of a tough putt at times. Do you ever find that to be a tough place where you've got to be critical of something that you really love and who really have embraced you as one of their own?
Yeah, and you make a great point there, Dan, in that, you know, these coaches and players too, but coaches control the practice. And if they don't want me to be there watching practice, if they feel like, you know, I'm not going to give them a fair shake, they're going to say, you know, why bother giving him all the information if you're just going to rip on us, you know, unnecessarily. And really, I try not to unless it is necessary. I mean, sometimes the level of play and sometimes decisions players and coaches make, you know, everybody's human. Everybody makes bad decisions. And when it happens, you have to call a spade a spade. There's no question about that. But I mean, I love the game for the entertainment value of the game. I think it's the greatest show on earth. I really do. I think it's a phenomenal sport played by incredibly gifted athletes, and I think the networks obviously love it. They battle for supremacy in terms of trying to get the best games every week, and they know they're going to get huge numbers of viewers. Audience share rating is going to be massive, so it's going to help their business overall. And the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar business now. It's crazy. I mean, back when I was playing in the 70s, I never thought that you'd see these kind of numbers in terms of what the revenues would be for the league, for the networks, for everybody, for players, contracts, for coaches, contracts. I mean, it's just astronomical how those things have spiraled up, and it really is. I think it's the most popular sport in the country and maybe in the world.
Absolutely here. So let's get into the modern day Bengals here. Optimism. I saw something that the first team is going to be out there on the field for a couple series against the Eagles coming up here on Thursday. Now, is that by design that they're going to do that? Is that because of what happened a year ago for slow starts? I mean, Dave, as you know, it takes a unit to win a Super Bowl or to even get to a Super Bowl there. So the offense was hitting on all cylinders last year. Why are they going down this slippery slope here? Because, as you know, that's a pretty dangerous slope when you got a guy by the name of Joe Burrow, and you're going to be playing exhibition football with him in the first couple series. Why that decision?
Yeah, because of the slow starts, like you mentioned, Dan. It's last year it was defensive. Obviously, was the biggest problem, and it was the biggest problem all year long. They were maybe the worst defense in the NFL, and it showed up in preseason and continued through their regular season. And as a result, they finished one game out of the playoffs. I think they could have been a playoff team if they just had an average defense. So they've really done a lot to address that in the draft and free agency signings with veteran players and college free agents. And they've beefed up the middle of their defensive football team, defensive tackle position, big time. They've gotten bigger, stronger, faster, better players at that position group, and linebacker as well on the inside, and then at the safety position too. They feel like at cornerback they've got pretty good cover guys. We'll see, and they've added to that mix as well. So if they can get their defense just to average, I think that they will make a great run at the Super Bowl. I think they can win the Super Bowl. I really do. I've gone on record saying that I think they're the best team in the NFL and they can win the Super Bowl. I wholeheartedly believe that to be the case. But the slow starts have been more defensive responsibility than offensive. But there were years where the offense did not perform well in the early stages of the season and put them behind the eight ball. Also, with 0-2, 0-3 starts, 1-4, all of a sudden, you're looking at 4-8, and they've been there. They've been there at that 4-8 mark after 12 games, and now it's like, boy, the playoffs, it looks like it's a long way to that horizon, and you got a lot of miles before you rest, and they put themselves too much distance to travel and just come up a game short in a lot of cases. So I do think that they've identified a lot of the problem areas. They've remedied a lot of those problem areas, and I think they're going to be an exciting football team to watch.
Do you believe that Trey Hendrickson, do you believe he tees it up in the first week of the season?
I do. Yeah, I do. I know I'm optimistic by nature, but I think I just saw him, in fact, today down at the locker room. He walked by, and he was grabbing a shower after working out. He's in magnificent shape. He keeps himself in unbelievable shape. He's strong as an ox, quick, fast. I mean, he's got everything you need to play defensive end at a very, very high level in the National Football League. I mean, he's got every physical requirement covered. And he's out there with the team. He's not participating physically, but he's getting the mental reps. And he put the big vice handshake on me in the locker room. He's ready to roll. And I do think he'll get signed, and he'll get signed before training camp ends. I believe he'll get preseason snaps as well, as Zach wants everybody to get their share of snaps and change the way they've been going about doing things to start the seasons and hopefully, hold off a slow start, put a roadblock up against that bad boy. And
How about this one? How about this one too, Dave? Al Golden.
Yeah.
The addition of Al Golden. I mean, you talk about all the changes. Have you been seeing it a little bit in training camp too? Some of the things maybe that they're going to do that were a little bit different to maybe hide some of the deficiencies, if there are any, on your defensive side of the football. I mean, how's that impact been over there so far? Obviously, you got to see him in a game. You got to see situational play calling. But, I mean, do you think how's his addition been to the defensive side of the football?
Magnificent. I think he's one of the best in the National Football League. I think he's one of the best coordinators in the game of football. What he did with Notre Dame last year, taking them to the national championship game, was nothing short of phenomenal. And he loves dealing with intelligent football players. He tries to challenge them, mentally. His defensive schematic is complicated, but he can keep it simple though too. And I think it sounds crazy, but it is fairly simple. There are like a half a dozen principles that he utilizes, and he has about 18,000 ways to get to them. Different looks in terms of coverages and rotations of coverages, safeties rolling, cornerbacks coming up from a off position to a press position, linebackers walking up at the line of scrimmage in the A gap or the B gap or the C gap, or whatever it may be, in the running game and to rush the passer. So he can give an offense all kinds of different looks and load up the line of scrimmage with significant numbers, forcing them to keep people in from a protection standpoint and minimize the number of players that are able to get out in the route. And then you better have some guys that you can trust play man coverage, because you're basically, that's about the only option you have left if you load that box up like that defensively. So he's going to do everything. I mean, he's got every coverage you can have. He's got every blitz package you can have. It's all installed. They've been working on that during OTAs, organized team activities, and mini camps and that sort of thing. So now that training camp is here, they've got all the hays in the barn from an installation standpoint. So now it's just a matter of getting repetitions and feeling comfortable with everything mentally.
Two last questions here for you. I talked to Bruce Arians about Joe Burrow. He says Burrow's the best quarterback in pro football. Do you believe that right now too, that Burrow's the best QB in football?
I do, Dan. I think he is. I think he's got everything. He's got everything that you need to be a dominant quarterback in the National Football League. I think he's the best in the game right now. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. I think his numbers are going to be, crazy. He's already put up silly numbers. I mean, some of the numbers he puts up for a season, quarterbacks would be happy with having over a 3-year stretch, and he's doing it in the season. He's got great guys to throw the football to. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins are two premier wide receivers. They're maybe the two best in the NFL, and they're on the same team with Joe Burrow throwing to him at the quarterback position. Andre Iosivas is a guy that they're grooming to take a lot of snaps and reps at the slot and be a third receiver in packages. And then Mike Gesicki right now is nicked up a little bit. He's banged up. He may not play in that first preseason game. In fact, I don't think he will, but he is incredible in terms of taking advantage of opportunities in the middle of the football field. When coverages have to kind of work to the outside and take away those perimeter guys, Mike Gesicki will hurt you. And Andre Iosivas, they're hoping, does the same thing as a slot receiver, between the hash marks, and hurt you in that part of the football field. So they feel like they've got answers to everything. Any problem or puzzle that a defense puts up there, they feel like they can solve and have answers to based on the personnel that they have and the quarterback they have, basically getting the personnel lined up the best way possible to beat that defensive scheme or configuration. And when they make adjustments, he makes adjustments to those adjustments, and the chess match is on. And, Joe Burrow, he'll checkmate you every time, man.
Final question for you. Tell me who Zach Taylor is. He got that team to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. I'll tell you this. I like that Jake Browning guy you guys have behind Joe Burrow. I mean, he could probably start on 10 teams in the National Football League right now. So the quarterback position obviously looks pretty good, and I think he would have a lot to do with that. But, I mean, he kind of flies under the radar. You've got Joe Burrow. You've missed the playoffs. I mean, I would think that, with the kind of talent and the window of opportunity for you, a lot of pressure on him this year. Don't you think, for him to get this thing across the finish line and to get them into the playoffs and get them to have a shot at that second season?
Yeah, I think there's pressure on the quarterback because of the nature of the position. It's like you're the guy, you're the leader of the band. You're going to make the beautiful music happen. The quarterback in the National Football League, and I believe this forever, and it's an old axiom that I think is true, and Paul Brown is the first one to use it. So I know if Paul Brown used it, I know there's some truth to it. It's like you get too much blame when things go well, and too much blame when things go poorly, and way too much credit when things go well. So it's not all the quarterback's fault, but he takes the brunt of everything. I mean, if the wide receiver core had a horrible day dropping the football, if the offensive line could not pass protect or do blitz pickup, or whatever the case may be, and he struggled to throw the football because of it, he's going to take all the blame, and it's not all his fault. Now, if he throws the football, for a gazillion yards and high completion percentage and a bunch of touchdowns, oh man, look how great the offensive line played, the wide receivers played, everybody played, and that's true. I mean, if they play well, he's gonna eat as well. He's gonna thrive, but man, he won't get the credit that those other guys get. That's just the nature of the beast. That's just part of being the quarterback in the National Football League. And Joe Burrow, he understands that 100,000%.
Absolutely. Who's inducting you into the Ring of Honor?
Oh,
who's walking you? Who's walking you? Does anybody speak for you, like any of your family members, or is it like the organization does it?
Yeah, you basically just kind of it's like an acceptance, speech kind of thing. So I'm working on that a little bit, and I'm going to be working on it for a while because you want it to be good. You don't want it to you don't want to lay an egg in that one. That's something.
Who did you first start? Who did you first start playing with on that team? Was it Forrest Gregg?
No, Paul Brown.
Paul. Wow, you were back with Cook?
Yeah. Well, Greg Cook got hurt. My rookie year at training camp, Greg Cook hurt that shoulder for the last time.
You played for Paul Brown. Wow.
I did. Played for Paul Brown in 1974 and 75. Yeah. And he was unbelievable now. Whew. That man, he's a football encyclopedia. He had a mind on him that was computer-like when it came to football. There was nothing that he didn't understand and have an ability to communicate. He was special in every sense of the word. He really was. And
you had Walsh in the building too when you were there. You had Bill Walsh and him putting an offense together. Is that right?
Yeah. And it was like, are you kidding me? This is like an advanced placement course at college, Right. I mean, this is AP stuff, man. This is a doctorate classroom here. They're getting your doctorate in football, and the two professors are Paul Brown and Bill Walsh. How lucky are we?
Wow.
Because they knew everything and anything there was to know about offensive football. They knew it, and they utilized it, and they were remarkable. Two unbelievable coaches, no question. Great teachers.
Hey, listen, I know I got one more here for you, okay? And I know you got to get out at 45 here, so let me ask you this. Ken Anderson.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer or not?
Oh, yeah. Hall of Famer. My old roommate, roomed with Ken for 9 years. I know how hard he prepared. I know how much the game meant to him. And I know how well he played. And I think there's no question that Ken Anderson should be in the Hall of Fame. I think it's a crime, really, that he's not in the Hall of Fame. I think I can't really understand why, because I think his numbers are definitely good enough to be in the Hall of Fame.
I think he won the MVP too, right?
He did. He was MVP of the entire league. I mean, he was special now. Ken Anderson could throw the ball like nobody else.
Dave, congratulations on you going into the Ring of Honor for the Bengals. It's such a reward. And I mean, wow, what a great thing for you and your family. Thank you so much for spending time with us, man. Have a healthy season this year. And Eagle fans will be telling you, I hope you see him in the Super Bowl. So, right? Hey, have a great one. Thank you, brother, for doing this.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. And I'd love to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl. That dog and hunt right there.
That's right. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. That is Dave Lapam.
Have a great one.
You got it. Part of the broadcast team for the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, sir, boy. Best quarterback in pro football. Joe Burrow. Man, I happen to agree with that too, by the way. By the way, I think we missed a super chat here, Xander. Holy cow. Bro looks like Zordon from the Power Rangers. Now, you guys wonder why I have to be very careful when I bring people on. Hey, man. I said this about getting Stephen Jones on. I'm going to kill him when he comes on. Why would you do that? Damn Sills. Xander with 7 straight W's against you. Xander who? Hey. Hey. Everybody thinks they get wins against Big Sills, but they don't know. I'm the guy who plays the game. I know what's up. How you doing? We feed off your energy, Sills. That's pretty cool, man. I appreciate that. Oh, man, that's my favorite line always when someone goes like this. Hey, Sills, you hear somebody's talking shit on you. This guy, and I go, who? It's my favorite line. I won't lie. Who? Hey, who? Yeah. You see, I think Xander's right. I got a way about that kind of shit. Don't I? I don't know. Maybe it's just some of the phrasing. Like ever. Like ever. All right, let me pay some bills here. Don't forget, Birds 365 will be right after the program, so do not go anywhere. Hit that like button. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. I am so happy football season is here, man. I just can't tell you. Seeing familiar faces again, people back in here, or familiar names, I should say. You guys are absolutely awesome, man, and we're so proud to have Morgan & Morgan part of the program for you guys here, showing you how big the program has become. We have the #1 injury law firm on the planet supporting us, okay? The #1 absolute injury law firm in all of America with over $26 billion recovered. $26 billion recovered. Why? Because they win. That's right. Do me a favor, guys. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sil sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Thanks, Stills. Hit that like button, freaks. Appreciate it. By the way, Herm Edwards will join us tomorrow at 4:30. We're going to move the Battle Royale up to 5 o'clock. Then on Thursday, Angelo Cataldi and Mike North will join us again. You guys liked them. So we're going to put them on. That'll be on Friday after the exhibition game with the Bengals. So Dave Lapam, I really love. And congratulations to our friend Dave Lapam for making the Ring of Honor. Heck of a guy, man. Played with Paul Brown, or for Paul Brown. And Bill Walsh was on that coaching staff. Incredible, right? Nick Sirianni spoke today. You could tell he really didn't know anything about the kid they just signed. He said immediately after that how he does a great job of looking at players. I'll tell you what I think Nick does do. I think Nick and those guys, I mean, the coaches look for a profile of a player. This is an old Bill Polian trick. Tony Dungy is not going to sit down and watch college football tape of a player or tape of a pro personnel guy in the middle of training camp. They're not doing that. They're watching their own guys and evaluating. They got enough positions to deal with. Safety, corner, backups. Who's going to play committee-wise with Ojomo at defensive end? I mean, they got so many. The right guard position, breaking in a new offensive court. They got so many things they're doing. Sitting down watching a guy who's on a roster for the Raiders is not high on the priority. So do you know what these guys do? They look at profiles. What's a Vic Fangio type guy? What's a type of guy that Nick wants in his clubhouse? And then how he goes out and signs these guys. You can hear it the way Vic talks. He didn't know that much about Adoree Jackson. How he signed a player that fit the zone defense. And then it's their job to go out and coach those guys. And you really can't dispute the way that they've had success doing it that way. There was something else that was said that, again, I brought it up earlier with Xander. There's no doubt. And that was said. Vic said it. John McMullen, who's going to come on the show right after this. I hope Xander asks him. And Vic said he would like to get some guys on the defense some playing time Thursday. What did Nick say? Well, Howie and I will go over who's playing, and we'll make those available that we think should play in this game And that'll be debated on. And we'll make the final call who's going to play on Thursday. Vic's not making the final call there. That's an organizational thing. You know, Vic could say all he wants. Well, I want this guy to play. Well, if they don't want him to play, he's not. That Nick Sirianni said that. You can't dispute the success that they've had when it comes to being healthy. Again, I'm not going to be that guy any longer that does this. They got to play in the exhibition season. Being healthy for the exhibition season, who cares? I mean, the both Super Bowls, did they not have every starter in there except for Brandon Graham? In that Super Bowl, isn't he like the only guy that between the two Super Bowls in the last 3 years? Brandon Graham's the only guy that didn't start, that started at the beginning of the season for those respective teams, right? I mean, that's like 99.9% health. You start your season with the same guys you're going to the Super Bowl with. That's N'Kobe Dean. That's right. Dean was also out. And they had Oren Burks in there. That's right. I mean, but look at that percentage. Off of 44 guys, 2 guys missed. Okay? I mean, right? That fantastic. So, hey, he said Jordan Davis is having a good camp. Okay? He said that Moro Jomo, this is Nick, saying that he's having a good camp. One more time, I'll tell you again that I said about Moro Jomo. It's not that I don't think he's going to be a good ball player. Is he going to be able to play the amount of snaps that Milton Williams was productive at? I tried explaining this to you. A guy that plays 500-600 snaps in a season and is productive. And some guys go, well, this guy's pretty good too. But he played 388 snaps. That's a big difference. And having your body prepared to play as a starter versus a guy who comes in as a substitute teacher. It's a whole different thing. I tried explaining that to you again with Bryce Huff. Huff had 425 snaps in New York. They thought he was going to play like 600-700 snaps. Well, when that became a reality, that his production went down. Just because you give a guy an assignment to be a starter, that doesn't mean he's going to be as productive. Okay? I mean, that's you still have to see. And Vic has already said it, that he believes that Moro Ojomo and others are going to have to cover the snaps that will be lost by Milton, and they'll have to do it by committee. All right? I want to see that too. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good ball player. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Moro Jomo, will he be able to play the amount of snaps and be as productive as Milton Williams? That's quite an ask. Same with Josh Sweat. I mean, you're going to do a lot of this by committee when it comes to the edge rushers and it comes to Milton being replaced by Moro Jomo. I mean, guys, that's not that easy. Your body, 2 years in a row, Milton had 500 snaps. That got him ready for the 2024 season, was the 2023 season where he played 494 snaps, not counting the playoff game against Tampa. Your body getting in condition to play as a starter. That's why what Jalen Carter's doing is incredible. All right. Guys, I appreciate you guys very much. We are rolling towards, they're going to have the organized team practice, I believe, tomorrow. Then they're going to scrimmage it up against the Bengals. That'll be on Thursday night. Stay tuned for Birds 365 with John and Xander. Hit that like button. 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we'll see you on the flip side.